Can we please put a thank you so much. So we're on cue. You see that? We do this all the time. So once again, my name is Vijay Ramjatan, president of CC28. I wanted to have the pleasure of extending a nice welcome to all of you for joining us here in District 28 to listen to advocate, and to also use this platform to elevate your voices. Today we have a very, very wonderful lineup of presenters and speakers in for you tonight, and we can't wait to hear them. So without further ado, I'm going to be asking our recording secretary, Latifa Lewis, to please do the roll call. Latifa, go ahead.
President Vijay Ramjatan.
I am here. Thank you.
First Vice President Barbara Williams.
Here.
Second Vice President Ted Chang.
Here.
Treasurer Lu Zhao. Treasurer Lu Zhao. I believe Lou was here. He may be having I'll come back to him. Recording Secretary Latifa Lewis here. Member Rajminder Kaur.
Here.
Member Cassandra Alexander.
Here.
Member Nancy Lugacy.
Here.
Member Shaliza Dean.
Here.
Member Elena Amanova.
Here.
Treasurer Lu Zhao.
Here.
Okay.
Sorry, Father.
No worries. Thank you so much, Recording Secretary Latifa Lewis, and thank you all for unmuting and saying you're here. So to our community, please feel free to put your cameras on. We'd love to see your faces. We miss you all, And when we see your faces, there you go, Amy. Thank you so much. I see you. Mozalita, thank you so much for putting your camera on. We love that. We love to see your faces. And there it is. I see the cameras coming on. Wonderful. It's good to see each other, right? We miss each other. This human thing is important, right? And we're one district. We are one loving district across the city. So great to see so many people from PS 121 over here today with us. It's a good team over here. My dear friends, our superintendent is at another meeting right now. She'll be joining us very, very soon. She'll be joining us to give her report in a few minutes, Mrs. Tammy Pate, Dr. Tammy Pate. So in the meantime, I just want to give my little report, and it's not going to be long. The report will be simple. We are a district that has proven to be resilient. We're a district that have proven to say that when we collaborate, united, we are stronger. We are a district that says no matter what our differences may be, we can come to the same table and discuss and put our ideas together and work for what's the best solution for most children. Because we cannot possibly please every parent and please every situation, but we do the best we can. And we have amazing leaders in our community, elected leaders and leaders in the school community, administrators who do a wonderful, wonderful job. I want to also thank the council members of District 28, all of them who do this work on a volunteer basis, day in and day out. But also, we don't only do this work once a month for the calendar meeting. This work takes all month planning. We're already planning April meeting already. And we have meetings back to back all night, sometimes long meetings, making sure we are doing the work to represent our parents well. I want to thank the district office for their wonderful team leadership and work. We have Deputy Superintendent Ms. Kong, who's here with us. Ms. Kong, I'm going to say hi really quickly.
Hello, everyone. I'm really happy to be here as usual. The CEC has really brought so much to the table, and having that openness and transparency is what it is of District 28. Thank you all so much. Together, we will be successful. That's what it is. Thank you.
Love it. Thank you so much, Ms. Kong, for all your hard and dedicated work. Thank you so much. We also have the amazing Sonia Rueda. Sonia, want to say hi really quickly?
Good evening, everyone. As always, I say this every month, but it's so genuine. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm excited for the work that we're doing, for the challenges, for everything, as long as we're in this work together. So thank you.
Sonia is the amazing family leadership coordinator from the district office, but she wears many hats. Among that one title is just a title, but she does so much more, and her service is invaluable to us. We want to thank also our amazing administrative assistant, Mr. Rinda Simangal, who has joined our team recently. See, Dorinda, say hi really quickly.
Hi, everyone.
There you go. That was quick, right? Dorinda is our administrative assistant, and you'll be seeing her name a lot more from notices. That's Dorinda. We also have from our face department from the DOE, Bibi Matadin, who is also a team member of this district, who goes above and beyond to really bring the most current information to our district leadership, and also to help us as a council in conjunction with Sonia Rueda. Bibi, can you please say hi really quickly?
Sure. Good. Thank you, VJ. Good evening, everyone. It is wonderful to be in community with all of you, especially seeing your faces. And I can't wait to meet each other in person. So looking forward to the months ahead, and the work that this council is doing is amazing. I can't wait to hear the speakers you have lined up. So thank you, VJ.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that, baby. And thank you for a lot of work that you do with us. We appreciate it. My dear friends, we live in a world right now where we have to take a moment to pause, and we pray for the lives that's being lost across the world, with the wars that's happening, the tragedy that's happening across the globe. I don't want to be political. I don't have a political platform. This is not a political platform. However, I'm a human being on the planet Earth, and I am here to advocate for human lives. So I'm asking you all, at this point, it's 6:46. Let's take one quick moment of pause for all the lives that are being lost across the globe in these trying times right now that's happening. So it'll just be one quick pause. 1, 2, 3 starts now. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. My dear friends, without further ado, I have the honor and the privilege to announce, I've met her. I was hosting a rally for Diwali to make Diwali a public holiday in Queens, New York, a couple of years ago before the pandemic. And there was this woman who come, a young lady, I would say, right? Amazing person who came up to me and said, "Hi, my name is Lynn Schulman, and I am running for an office, and I am here to support your cause. I feel like what you're doing makes a lot of sense." And since then to now, we've had a wonderful, respectful relationship in the community. And she ran and successfully won her seat as as councilwoman now. So now we address her as Councilwoman Lynn Schulman. And we are so happy to have her with us today for the first time. And she'll tell you more about her. But I want to say this before she even goes on, that we have a fighter for our district. We have someone who cares for our district, who knows our districts, who knows the students of our district, who knows the schools of our district, and we are partners with her in her office. And all it took was one call to her and said, "Ms. Schulman, Councilman Schulman, we would love to have you this month." And in short notice, she made the sacrifice to be here. And that goes along with the show, the commitment and the partnership that we have with her. Without further ado, I will pass the microphone this time to Councilwoman Lynn Schulman. Go ahead.
Thank you very much, VJ. And I just want to say that, yes, we met there, but I've also been following you as the head of the CEC for 28, and you've done an amazing job. I want to thank you for your leadership. I want to thank everyone here for their leadership. It's an amazing time now. I'm the council member for the 29th district, which takes in Forest Hills, Rego Park, Kew Gardens, and part of Richmond Hill. And, I made the commitment back then. Keeping that commitment, we have to do whatever we can to make sure that the community is inclusive, that the city is inclusive, our government is inclusive. I am actually the chair of the health committee, and that's very important for the health care of our kids. That's very, very important. I want to work with everybody on that. I want to also say that I've been in touch with the chancellor, and he's been doing an amazing job. And he actually, at one point, he told me he will come out and visit some of the schools in the district. He wants to hear about all the different programs that we have that are unique to our children, which is great. And he wants to hear what the issues are. I will tell you, like, right after I took office, it snowed. We had that big snowstorm, if everybody remembers. And I went and visited we made sure all the schools were taken care of. My staff called every single school in the district. And I went and visited schools in terms of COVID and everything else. So we've been hitting the ground and running. We're also now in the process of working on the budget. And we're going to make sure that our schools are included in that, whatever we can do there. I am also on the edge. So I'm chair of one committee, and then each council member is assigned to be a member of other committees. So I'm actually on the education committee as well. So I attend the hearings, I have a say. I want to get to know each and every one of you very well. I won't be able to stay long on the call. I just want to say that Seth Urbander from my office is here. He's going to stay for the whole meeting. Whatever issues you have, he'll put his information in the chat. We get back to people. I believe in being very responsive. What I will tell you is that, what Vijay said earlier, if we're going to agree and disagree on things. I mean, you don't agree with the people you live with or your family all the time. So, but I want to hear what everyone has to say, and everyone, I'm very open to listening to everything and whatever ideas you have, everything else. So that's really, really important to me. So in addition, I also sit on some other committees as well, that government operations and all of that. So, and I'm on the budget negotiating team. So I'm going to help to make sure that we have the money in our budget, that we get the things that we need from our Department of Education. I know that the representative Bibi from DOE will update you. The chancellor was at the chancellor's speech yesterday. He wants to change the entire system so that everyone is included in every decision, and giving more power, Bibi, if I'm correct, giving more power to parents. Because parents have not been, as we know in the past administration, have not been necessarily been listened to or had a say. And I ran a campaign, just so everybody knows, that I want to govern from the bottom up, not from the top down. And so that's very important. I've been working with the community boards, and I look forward to having a really strong working relationship with the CEC. And whatever we can do to get things done, that's what we're going to do. So thank you very much for Vijay. Thank you for reaching out to me. And I did make the effort. I changed some things around so I could be here, because that's how important it is. And I want to end by saying this. We only have one chance for our kids to have a good education. So we need to make sure that that happens, and that no matter what zip code any child lives in, that they have the same opportunities as anybody else.
What a way to end. Thank you so much for being here. We want to say that, CC 28 is a hub. It's a hub as a team to really get answers and get platforms. And one thing we as a council want to work with you with, Ms. Schulman, is how can we get CCs to have more power? We feel like CCs have a lot of bark, but no bites. We do a lot of work. We do a lot of advocacy. We do a lot of work to rally up parents, to get voices, get opinions. But then what? So how can we work with you to write our bill to really make sure that CCs get this platform where our voice has a little bit more say in the structure of things in the city? That is something that you and I will talk more about, and how we can take care of.
Absolutely. And I want to, and I will talk with the chancellor, and Bibi is here. I see her. I will talk to the chancellor, but not only that, but the chair of the education committee. I'm going to ask her if she can make time to come to one of the meetings here with me, so that we can both be here, and then you can meet the chair of the education committee.
I see great things happening. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And
I'm going to stay for a little bit to listen, but then I'm going to.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Sonia Rivera, whenever Dr. Page comes, please just let me know, and I'll bring her in. So
Absolutely.
thank you so much, Sonia. I want to also acknowledge our fellow president from Council CC 27, Lisa Cooper is here. Lisa, can you just say hi really quickly? Lisa Cooper.
Hello. BJ, I wouldn't miss your meeting for nothing in the world. I had to dump Jesse. So I'm over here with you because I love listening to you, and you inspire me, and I love to learn from you. And you have to come to my meeting next month, okay? And I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to be here.
Love the partnership. So much, Lisa. We'll always acknowledge you. Thank you so much for being here. We have the amazing superintendent for high schools with us today. Now, you may ask us that we are a council that look after elementary all the way up to middle schools, why do we have the high school superintendent here? Well, guess where all our kids are gonna go? They're gonna go to high school, right? So many of the parents in our district here have kids both in high school and in middle school, elementary school too. So we look at this from a very big, a very inclusive platform to really bring the whole big picture to all of you here. And also too right now, as we know, we have a lot happening right now with high schools, admissions, and all that great stuff. So we have the person herself. We have the amazing, she's home. We love her a lot. Cynthia Schneider is the superintendent. Ms. Schneider, please take it away. Go ahead.
Thank you, Vijay. I'll try not to take up a lot of time. I'm like all educators. I think that once you give me a platform, I could talk forever and ever, because of course, this is always my favorite subject. So I could do that, but I'm going to refrain. I actually have a list. I'll try to keep it down. But I want to thank you all. I think that this opportunity to speak to a K-12 vision of what we're doing in District 28. And of course, I also have districts 27 and 29 high schools. So it's important that we have that opportunity to get together, because we are all partners in this work for our kids. It's all about the kids. And so I depend on, elementary, middle schools to really send us all of their kids. I know that you're sending us your best kids. Nobody's keeping anyone at home. So I know you're sending them, and we're excited about that. And we're thrilled about that. This platform gives us a chance to articulate what's happening, so that if you have a student that you've not had go to high school yet, you get an opportunity to kind of think about, well, what does that mean when my student is going off to high school? So I just have a couple of things I'm going to mention. The high school application deadline is March 11th. So that's coming up really fast. And those 8th graders who are moving on to high school will be filling out their high school applications. I always try to make a real push for parents to think about how they've researched where their student wants to go. What kind of research have you done? Have you looked at websites? Have you gone to open houses? Have you called a school to maybe see if the parent coordinator can give you and your student a tour? You can do those things and go to see what is the culture of this school? What does it look like? And have you tested out the commutes and the transportation? When I was a principal, I always had students who would want to go somewhere far away and then realize that they'd have to get up at 5 in the morning and take 2 trains and a bus to get there. And quickly that became a choice that was not a choice anymore. So doing that research ahead of time is really, really important. But beyond that, and this is my opportunity this month to tell you this, that once those applications go in, there are opportunities still when the matches are made for parents and students to follow through with the schools that they might have had matches for. Schools set their projections for how many students they think they're going to get. It's very important. I tell my principals, you must call the kids on your list. Are they going to come to you? What additional persuasion can you do? Because we want your students in our schools. So there's a phase 2 part of this once they get their matches. And obviously this year we have a late start. And so it's going to be a quick process. But I encourage parents to contact schools and see what you can do to make those choices for which offer are you going to accept. At this time of the year, we have, especially at the start of the second semester, we like to see that all of our seniors have already put in college applications or whatever their post-secondary plan is, that they did that already in December. If they're not in, they are behind the game, and we need to make sure that we're pushing that college counselors in the high schools are following through with kids to make sure applications get in, to make sure that they start running FAFSA meetings so parents know what kind of financial aid is going to be available. So it's very important that we spend some time really talking all the way through every year, but particularly seniors at this time are going to be choosing where they're going to be going. They'll start getting offers for money when they turn in their financial aid package. And so it's important that families have those conversations. What's going to be most important? Is it going to be small school, large school? Is it going to be close to home, far from home? And what's the cost going to look like? And what are the programs that your students are interested in? And I would also caution parents who have students who are preparing for college, and you can start this in middle school. It's often the case that kids are torn when they hit this decision point because they want to make a decision about something based on something they think they want. But chances are a lot of our kids don't really know what they want. They think they're going to be an influencer. And so they're not going to go off to school because they think they're going to sit on their platform with their ring light and they're going to be an influencer, which may happen for some kids. But the point is that they really need to plan for what they think they might want, but don't expect them to know. Part of college is you get there, your freshman year, your sophomore year, and you're trying to figure out what it is you want. What are you going to look for? What are you going to join? What courses are you going to take? And it's often those exploratory options that help kids figure it out. So don't expect kids to know immediately. And a lot of parents and a lot of kids say, yeah, but I don't want to waste any money going off to school and I don't know what I want to do. Well, it's part of the reason we go to school, is to figure out what is it I'm interested in? What am I good at? What do I want to get better at? So those are some of the decisions that are taking place around the horn. My last point is the focus that we have on writing. High school writing must be extensive. High school writing must help students build stamina in 9th grade and beyond. And we spend a lot of time working with teachers and administrators to know that writing isn't just about picking out pieces of evidence to write a paper, but it's about the revision. It's not the first draft. It's not even the second or third draft. It's revision after revision that makes kids writers. And they need to have that stick-to-itiveness. They need to have the grit to get responses from friends, classmates, teachers, and to figure out what it is that they really want to say. So I'm always going to harp on writing. And so when you see your students at home, ask them to do some writing. It's really important to do that. My granddaughter is now taken to calling me up on FaceTime to read me things that she's writing. And sometimes it's just very, very, very silly stuff, but it's all part of her. This is what she's doing. This is part of what she wants to say. It's important that they get to say those things. So when she calls me up to want to talk about Encanto, I listen. And that's what we all need to do. Ask your students to write, read it to you, talk about it, and just have those conversations, because that self-expression is key, especially now. As we focus on social emotional learning, where do they get to express their ideas, to talk about their fears, to put things on paper when they want to deal with really important and crucial things? So anytime you have a question, let me know. I'm glad to answer. Visit our website, queensouthhighschools.com. That's just like such a great email address. I don't know how we got it. Somebody had to pay somebody, but it was great. queensouthhighschools.com. I just love that. So let me know if you need anything, if you want anything. You can always call our office. Evelyn Ruiz and Selena Gales are our family support folks, and they are phenomenal and very informative all the time. And we're always willing to help. Thank you for having me. Love being here. District 28 is like, oh, you're my heart. It's It's such a love fest over here, and yet very, very rigorous. And let's talk about these really important things. So thank you. Thanks, VJ.
Thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate your presence and also bringing information very, very in a way that's digestible and really helpful. I see Sonia is putting the websites on links on the chain, our chat feature here. Will you be staying on to take some questions later
Yeah.
on, possibly?
I'll be here.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much. Beautiful. So as Natifa Lewis, our recording secretary, is putting on the chat feature, folks, if you want to speak later on, you want to ask a question in our public comment section later on, you'll get to ask our presenters a question. And you will be able to speak,
Dr. Pate is here.
which is perfect timing, which is just perfect timing. See, everything works wonderfully here, right? Yes, so Ms. Shada, we thank you for all the work that you do. And we thank you for the dedication that you've been doing for Queens high schools in the southern part of our district. The work continues. Thank you. Thank you. Without further ado, my dear friends, we're going to be bringing in right now our superintendent for our district, the amazing, the person who is at the helm. She's the one who leads the entire district, and we are so honored to have her as our superintendent. Please welcome Miss Dr. Tammy Pate. There she is. Can you make her a co-host?
Oh, hello there.
There she is. There
All
you
right,
are.
great. I'm hoping you all can see me. I'm actually in transit. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. All is well, I
Hello.
hope.
Yes, thank you.
Good, good. Thank you so much for your patience with the things we had to take care of on today. I am going to jump right in. I have team members here, and so I'm going to try to share screen if that's okay. I wanted to be able to, y'all just bear with me with the car, okay? I wanted to be able to share some data with you all and to just have a discussion about some of the things that we are working on at the district level. And so I think now I can share. Okay, let's see. Yeah. And so somebody hold me really tight to a tight timeline and jump in when it's time for me to release the mic. Okay.
I got you. Go ahead.
Excellent. You can see this presentation now?
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you so very much. So we're going to go really quickly. I just want to, this is who we are. I always like to set the context and be sure that folk see the visual of the beautiful District 28 and how many areas in Queens that we span across and how we fit into the puzzle of other districts. And so I'd love to start with this slide because this is our pride here. This is who we are. This is what we do this work for, this evening together, right? This is what we do it for, our schools and our children. Again, our district vision and mission is here. And I always like to just go for that last line that we are beautifully diverse, coming from countless racial, ethnic, language, and belief backgrounds. And as such, we commit to striving for inestimable contribution to the lives of our scholars. I say that all the time because I want it to take root inside of people so that they understand that there is limitless possibility with regard to what we can accomplish when we, one, work together, and two, when we put children first, when we put them as the center of everything we do. And so it is our commitment, it is our desire, it's our call to strive for inestimable contribution to the lives of our scholars. Just a quick graphic to just share with you how we fit things together here in the district, right? Thinking about how we progress monitor, thinking about how we professionally develop and pull all of our multiple pieces and parts together as a district family. Down below is the chancellor's priorities and principles. That is how we inform our goal setting. It informs our supports for our schools. It informs the initiatives that we launch every year, followed by our cell and academic screeners, our executive superintendent. I know we just heard a big change there. But we have a superintendent, that's myself. And so we are clear on our direction, and nothing has changed with regard to who we are and what we've intended to do for this year. And then we drift over into our theory of action for our district, right? If we do certain things, we can expect certain outcomes. And so we are committed as a district to really monitor how we are doing the work of educating children, right? It's not something that it's not a, good luck or by chance. I know that children deserve better than that. So we spend time meeting, like the district team met today for hours on end, thinking about our professional learning, thinking about our focus for the next school year. We're already into planning for next school year. That's the work, right? Being clear about the data that we have and what that means, the implications for our work moving forward. And I want you to be confident that we are working in that direction, that we are mindful that we have to continue to innovate and continue to examine our data so that we're planning appropriately for our children. I wanted to share this with you, and I'll send the deck over to our president and to our CEC after. We have had quite the last couple of weeks in District 28. 4 of our schools were recognized in the news and across media platforms, and what an amazing job the schools have been doing. And I just wanted to celebrate and shout out our young people and our schools for just doing the best work. At 182, we have the first and second place Girls Who Game Minecraft Challenge winners, the first and second place. Our 4th graders were featured on Telemundo Weather Kids program. One of our other schools was featured on WPIX Channel 11. And then our scholars at PS 86 were recognized for their Black History Month celebration, where author and news anchor Cheryl Wills interviewed children. It's a great interview, so I'm going to make sure that you get these links. Maybe one of our team members can drop these links into the chat so you can take a look at our children and some of the work that's happening. And one of the things I did not feature here, and I will add it to the slide, is that we got our second National Magnet Recognition School in the district. And here's a bigger fact. There are only 2 schools that are National Magnet recognized schools, and both of them are in District 28. Let me say that again. There are only 2 schools in New York, the entire state, that are National Magnet schools, and both of them are in District 28. Public School 349, Principal Tanya Bates Howell, and Middle School 358, Principal Brendan Mims. So that's a celebration for sure. Our attendance gains, I love that little baby. We're back, baby. We have now reached our 92%. As a district, our district-wide attendance, we are up from 90% on last month. We said that we were going to do it. You did it. You did it. You ensured that children, our young scholars, got to school every day. We have been showing up, and I want to say congratulations. You did it. Our IEP provision of services. I know I'm going quick, but I want to just acknowledge that I'm late to the meeting. So again, you will have access to this deck, and you can take a look at it at your leisure. I wanted to also just shout out again that District 28 is number 1 in the city of New York for our IEP service provision percentage. We are at 93%, and that is by yards the highest percent of provision of services across the entire New York City Department of Education. What I did here also was put on the left side of the screen the classifications and the numbers and percentages of all of our children on the left. And I also put a screenshot of the citywide classifications and numbers, just so you have that as a reference point. So when you get this slide deck and you want to just take a look at it, please feel free to do so that you know what we're doing. And I also want to just point out out, if you look on the left and you see that autism classification, we have been working with the district planning in order to get an autism school and additional services right here in District 28. I want you to know that I am relentless on this fact. I am not going to let go. I am not getting tired. I will continue to elevate this request on behalf of our children. Our human capital data on last month, I think one of our parents wanted to get a little information about the number of teachers we have and what is the turnover for teachers in our district. And so I wanted to just include this slide. As you can see, active number of teachers for District 28 is 1,695. We talked about whether there was a lot of turnover, and here it is. So the number of teachers that transferred out of our district was 38. The number of teachers that transferred in was 33. This year alone, we have hired an additional 165 teachers. And so the majority of those teachers were for folk who have either retired or had some other experience. But we, in fact, are not sort of losing teachers in droves. As you can see, it's pretty well balanced within our district. And then I put a little graphic over here, and I cleaned this up as much as I could. It's a pretty gnarly little pie chart there, but it tells you the majority of teachers being hired. So 58% of teachers hired are Common Branch. 29%, the second highest percent of new hires are special education teachers, primary, and so on and so forth. And so that gives us an idea of who is in our classrooms, who is in our schools, and the number. That's a tremendous amount of teachers, by the way, the number of teachers that we have here in District 28. Let's see if I can get to the next slide. It doesn't want to do it for me. Come on, you can do it. There we are. We also talked about DESA data, right? And so we know that it was part of a system-wide New York City Department of Education or New York City Public School focus on social and emotional learning and prioritizing supports for student wellness across the city. And so we have conducted the DESA assessment, and below is a chart by grade of where students fell in terms of their DESA evaluation. And so you'll see that little red line down there, which means need for instruction, is really where our school counselors, our instructional leadership teams, our social workers, our supports at the school level are really leaning in to support students who are experiencing either trauma or have expressed a need for emotional support. I think one of the things that you really should look at and take a look at that K data. Look at the K data. And I know you probably can't make out all of those numbers. When you get the slide deck, you'll be able to zoom in and really see it. But it's interesting that our K-1 really have the highest number of students who are in need of support, as well as our ninth graders. It has not been easy for our children to go through a pandemic, and then to go through remote learning, and then to go through the constant transitions that they have had to go through. But I tell you this, I am confident in the work that we are doing as a district family. That includes every single one of us. We are paying attention to the needs of our children, and we are meeting the needs of our children. You specifically, let me say this really clear. You specifically have taken the charge. You have taken up the responsibility of ensuring that what you see, you're sharing with other people. What you feel is needed in the schools, you're sharing with us. I commend you for that. I encourage you to keep going. Please don't let something go unnoticed. If you see something, send us an email. I promise we are responsive. I think you can testify to that we do try to circle back as quickly as we possibly can and meet the needs of our families and our schools. Let's talk a little bit about our assessment data. As you know, they have not taken a formal assessment in quite a few. It's 2 school years now. And so we utilize the iReady assessment for our students to help us gauge where we are in terms of readiness for our state assessment. At the bottom, that lighter line is where we tested in September. In September, as a district, in math in September, this is where we tested. About 19% of our students were on grade level. 46% was approaching grade level. That left, and wait for it, that left 36% of our students not meeting. By mid-year, this is the assessment that we just completed, we've reduced that 36 all the way down to 25. And so the work is happening. A total of 32% are now fully on grade level, and additional 43% are approaching grade level. And I'm telling you, we are doing everything that we know to do within the schools in order to support the learning at high levels of every student. But I'm going to tell you this, it is not easy. Our children are struggling. Some of them are taking formalized tests for the first time. So we are engaging with grace with our children so that we are supporting them in one, learning content, but also building confidence that they can engage formal assessments. Our ELA data tells us a similar story, slightly higher. Again, the lower, the sort of the number on the bottom is the beginning of the year. At the beginning of the year, we had 30% fully on grade level and 31% approaching. At the mid-year, we now have fully 40% on grade level and additional 29 approaching grade level. I'm sorry. I said, was that my cue? Okay, I'll keep going. Our central updates. As you know, I'm sorry.
No, it's not. Keep going. Keep going.
You can keep going.
Okay, I'm sorry. You know that our school survey has been released. And we got some not great news. Every one of my principals know that I don't want to be on anyone's list that is not a celebration of who we are. And so today we were advised that our completion rates are very, very low as a district. Now, I am going to do my part by ensuring that I put a little pressure on our principals with regard to getting the surveys completed. Our PCs will meet with our own Sonia Rueda so that they can also understand and find some strategies to get the word out about the survey. But I'm going to use this platform to just ask everyone, and our team, please put the link to the survey into the chat. We're going to keep putting that link into the survey. District 28 is never at the bottom of anything. We're not about to start now. Okay, we lead. So I am asking everyone to be true to who we are. Please get the survey completed on behalf of children. I also want to tell you and remind you, you know this, that our ELA and math exam administration, the window is there on the left, the top right box. ELA assessment is March 29th and 30th. And math assessment is April 27th, 26th, and 27th. Sonia?
So good evening, everyone. Thank you for this brief opportunity, because I want you to know that this commitment is to you, the parents, right? This is something that's very important. Your voice is critical to this work, and know that this is not the only platform. Right? You have CEC, you have PAPTA, you have your parent associations where it's crucial that you step up, participate, and take that leadership role, and then your school leadership team. So on that point, your school leadership team, chancellor's regulation are under review, and know that one of the strong focal points are parent voice. And where is parent voice in the process of school leadership teams? So that's coming down the pipeline. The other thing I wanted to mention briefly is the open meetings law. There is an extension until March 16th, so that up to then we can have our meetings virtually, school leadership team, CEC, anything that falls under the open meeting laws. So that is pending for final word of what's going to happen after that. And then finally, critical is the biennial review survey. Yes, another survey, but this is specific to any of you that are sitting on SLT. Our numbers, again, are very low, and I think I read somewhere in the chat that said it would be worthwhile if these surveys are being heard and looked at. Know that the biennial review surveys are reviewed by the district leadership team, which include the superintendent, Dr. Tammy Pate, myself, all the parent leaders in the district, the high school superintendent, and this is how we can support your school leadership teams. So please, please fill out that survey. We need to know how you're doing. We need to know how you're doing. We need to know where your strengths are, but we need to know where we can better support you. And so I just want to say that we are committed by providing ongoing professional development to your parent coordinators. During the break, we offered, in addition to the PD that was offered by FACE, working with Administration for Children's Services, this district offered a session on supporting families and students in temporary housing. So this was specific for parent coordinators. We also did working with conflict and challenging situations. We want our parent coordinators to be resilient, to be able to support all our families, given all these different dynamics that are coming into play in our daily lives. And finally, we continue to offer ongoing support for our parent leaders, our PAPTAs. We're doing a workshop for elections on March 22nd and 23rd. So know that we're here, we're committed. Please reach out. I will put my information in the chat. Thank you, Dr. Pate.
Excellent. Thank you so very much, Sonia. I just want to just end there. Again, you will have access to this this slide deck, and I'm going to add the note with regard to our two nationally recognized magnet schools. And I also am scheduled to have a conversation tomorrow with the new magnet director for the New York City Department of Education. So I'm looking forward to hearing some of her ideas and thinking about how we can bring more resources into our district through STEAM and STEM educational focus. So you stay tuned. Oh, I'm sorry. Can I say one more thing? I feel like I have to tell you everything I've been doing. So there you go.
Go ahead, Dr. Pate.
I'm sorry, I have to tell you. I also met with, I also met with Jade Grieve. Now, Jade Grieve, if you saw the chancellor's address over these last few weeks, has identified her as the chief officer for college pathways or career pathways. So I have been in conversations with her about some things that were shared at the community board meeting around having CTELE and certificate bearing programs in Queens South and in Queens, because we are woefully under resource in that area. And so I am engaging in these conversations with her, and she would like to have conversations with some of you. And so I meant to say this to you earlier, but we've been so busy. Our president, I would love for an opportunity to talk with you and perhaps get a few members of our CEC who will be willing to meet with Jade to talk about what the need looks like for Queens with regard to certificate bearing programs and CTLE. And she understands what we know, that career exploration does not start just in high school, but that the magnet programs that we have here in our district that are working so hard to expose our children to a STEAM education and activities and resource, and helping them to understand the interconnectedness of the work they do at the school to life and careers. And so I'm looking forward to what will come next. She's asked me to share your contact information. I hope that is okay. I did share your email address. I also met with a lot of people. I'm telling you, don't put me in a room. I'm D28 all day. So when you put me in a room and say, these are people who are doing things, I'm going to get some time on their calendar. I also met with the new Deputy Chancellor, Carolyn Quintana, about her remote school initiative that she's thinking about. Some of you who I've already sent your email to her may hear from her. Because she wanted to make sure, she wanted to speak with parent representatives. She wanted to speak with teachers in our district, as well as principals. And so I've already shared that information. Ted, I hope gave her your information, your email. So I'm hoping that you will shortly hear from her, because I want us to be a part of these conversations. As they're developing programs, they need to hear our voice. We got to be a part of the conversation. So when I have these meetings, just know that I am representing D28. I'm putting us forward as often as I can. And I know that you are also doing that. So we said it at the beginning. I'll say it again. This happens because we have decided that we are going to move this district in the direction that it should go. And so I'm going to stop talking. I want to thank you so much for the space and time. This was so much time. I so appreciate having the mic for this amount of time. Jeez.
Dr.
Thank
Pate,
you,
thank
everyone.
you so much. Dr. Pate, this is what I want to say. Can we all give a heart on the screen? We love hearts and applause. Just light up the screen. This work is not easy work, folks. And, we got to give our leader who represent us on all platforms a little love, right? A little bit of heart clapping, it's beautiful, right? That's what you call.
I appreciate it. I'm giving you love, sign language. There you are.
Thank you, Dr.
Thank you,
Pate. That's
everybody.
what we do here. We do transparent leadership and we do accountable leadership. And Dr. Pate, that's what you've been doing. That's what we have come to get used to. And the data that you brought today, it's amazing. And to our community, we're going to have those slides up on our website. You ask, she deliver, but also know that to get all the slides together and get all the work together takes a lot. It's a whole team effort, right? So be patient with us sometimes too, right? We're getting there one step at a time. But unlike many councils, this is one of the councils that we bring the data. Dr. Pate, thank you, and thank you. Okay, without further ado, my dear friends, we have the amazing PS 121. PS 121 is a school in the central part of our district that does a lot of amazing things. They have an amazing team, and they have a whole bunch of people here tonight from that school they're phenomenal educators, but they're more than educators. They're partners and collaborators in our children's education. Without further ado, we're going to be asking Principal Petrello to share his slides and take it over this time. Mr. Petrello, go ahead.
So thank you, VJ. Appreciate it. Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for joining us. Dr. Pate, that was wonderful. Thank you for sharing all of the data of all the wonderful things we're doing in the district. It has not been an easy year by any stretch of the word, but we are doing it one day, 1 hour, sometimes 1 minute at a time. So my name is Nick Petrello. I am acting principal for PS 121. I came on board to join this specific school from a different school in the district in September. So what a way to be thrown into the lion's den of a new principalship in the midst of a pandemic. But we've been doing amazing work at PS 121, so I wanted to share it with the community at large. So there's us, there's the school. The school's been under construction since prior to the pandemic. I have yet to see it without the scaffolding that's around. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we can get that construction completed for September to see the school in all of its glory and beauty that you see there. As Vijay said, we are a pre-K to 5 elementary school located in South Ozone Park, Queens in District 28. We're around 735 students, and the student population is comprised of general ed, special education, and also G&T classes on each grade. I did pull up our latest framework scores there. You'll see that we do very well in all areas: student achievement, the instruction, the teachers are very collaborative, the environment supportive, effective school leadership, strong family community ties, and trust. I did want to speak for a brief moment about our vision for learning. We at PS 121, we believe that all students can strive for excellence academically, socially, and emotionally in a safe space that's supportive to all. Students are empowered to discover their strengths and to set goals and achieve their maximum potential. Together with parents and the school community, we will support our students in building ownership and responsibilities for their present and future learning by developing academic, intrapersonal, and technological skills in order to become productive citizens. I know that's a lot there, but this is who we are as a whole. This is what we believe in terms of helping our students academically, socially, and emotionally to soar to new heights moving forward. So one thing that I felt was important for us to focus on the school community is how do we develop that strong family community ties. And questions that we've considered as I worked with SLT, the ILT, our core cabinet, grade meetings, and in my communications with families is how are we engaging families during a pandemic, right? I believe, and we believe as a school, that it's so important to involve the community, but how do you do that while staying 3 feet, or at that point, 6 feet apart from one another? What are some logistical challenges that we're facing? How do we ensure that everyone remains safe and healthy in the school community? How do we provide our scholars with the most authentic school experience we can after all that they've been through? And members of the PTA, SLT, you've heard me say that repeatedly. I feel it's our duty to give our kids the most authentic school experience that we can possibly give them. They've been through enough. I personally, and us as a community, don't want to sacrifice anymore. And lastly here on the list was, what is the school community telling us about their needs? So something that we've done is we've put out a couple of different surveys. This was one from the fall. This was sent to the parents. And basically it just talks about, do you feel that we're preparing your child to enter the next grade in September? How do you feel our school does well in supporting your child in those areas? What areas do you think our school can improve upon in supporting your child? And do you feel safe with the COVID-19 protocols that were put in place? And any other comments? And a similar survey was sent to the students themselves. This was done from kindergarten through 5th grade. And this was just agree or disagree with the following statements. I feel safe attending PS 121. My teacher gives me challenging work. I feel comfortable using the remote learning platforms, whether it's Google Classroom, Zoom, Google Meet, things of that nature. And you can read the rest of the questions that were asked there, but this was very insightful in giving us a little bit of a sense as to what the need is in the community. So this was used to kind of drive some of the work that we've been doing. And a lot of the need that came from this survey was the SEL work, the social and emotional piece. So we do have our guidance counselor, Ms. Ramdath, on tonight, who'll speak a little bit about that in a few minutes. So I did want to highlight some of the celebrations and some of the community building activities that we've done. So the first week of school, we did have our PS 121 homecoming. So we did have each grade centered around a specific character trait, whether it was bravery, honesty, generosity, resilience, things like that. And each grade was charged with coming up with whether it was a skit, a play, some kind of celebratory something to build it out what that looks like. So you see here, we're distanced, we're masked, and we were able to engage in some of these activities. Our PTA is very, very involved. We love having them part of this. We did some popcorn surprise for the kids. Our PTA, Ms. Seema Singh, who is on, our PTA president, she rallied the troops together for the PTA. We have a popcorn machine, and in the cafeteria, they were making fresh popcorn. And due to the pandemic, the kids didn't eat it in school, but they got their little to-go bag. You'll see them all there as they left out of the building. So that was a nice way just to give them a little treat to recognize we celebrate you and recognize all the hard work you've been doing so far. So let's keep it up. This was done in the fall, and then cases unfortunately began to uptick. So we did stop it for a while, but we are on track to do this again moving into March and April. We also had our pre-K and kindergarten engage in a pumpkin patch. I know the pictures are kind of small, but we took our schoolyard outside in the back. The PTA purchased about 125 small pumpkins, and the kids went outside and they were able to pick their pumpkin. We did it separate by class. We kept the distancing there for everyone, and that was a nice, fun thing for, again, our youngest scholars to engage in. Our spelling bee, Ms. Brinkman, 5th grade teacher, she was our spelling bee coordinator. This was held in the fall. We did engage our 121 community, and we made it to the district level there as well. One thing that I've brought in this year is what I call buddy reading. And once a month, we have parents come in, quote unquote, come in. We've done it virtually this year. So a survey goes out, parents sign up, and they're allowed to engage with their child's class. And it's buddy reading, but it's a buddy immersion. so to speak. They're sharing books, they're sharing artifacts, they're getting to know the kids, they're sharing their history, what resonates with them as people, how they connect with one another, how they connect with the class. So you'll see here, this has been very successful in involving our parents in a safe way to engage in the school community at large. We've done some family nights. We've had movie night. We had a magician come in after school on a Friday night. You'll see that everyone is distanced and masked. So we are trying to build in as much as we can, as I said, to give the authentic school experience, but modified to keep everyone safe and healthy during the pandemic. I also do a principal's coffee once a month. You'll see there, it's virtual, unfortunately. This is I know my hair is not very long, but it's a let my hair down conversation with parents, right? Where we all cheers our coffee cup and we just talk. They ask me questions, I ask them questions. It's more of an informal opportunity for us to engage, right? Everything is so go, go, go. This is more of a relaxed environment that we can just talk, and anything that comes up, it's addressed. I have anything, you know, from the school side that needs to be addressed. We have that dialogue constantly there. We had World Read Aloud Day where we engaged everybody in activities celebrated around reading and literature. I read over the PA system one of my favorite books, Lily's Purple Plastic Purse, and the kids really got a kick out of that, listening to me read them a story. Respect for All Week was the week prior to February break, February 14th to February 18th, and you'll see here this was our schedule. Each day was centered around a theme. So if Ms. Ramdath, if you want to unmute and you can speak in a little bit more detail about how this was.
Sure, thank you so much. My name is Doreen Ramdath. I am the school counselor at PS 121 under the direction of Mr. Nicholas Petrello. Our school celebrated Respect for All week through themed days, as you could see through this schedule. Daily activities to promote conversations within the classroom with the students and their teachers. Parent resources were also sent on Google Classroom, read alouds each night that correlated with the themes for the day. The most important outcome of this fun-filled week was the joy that it brought to the children. As we've all said, it's been a very difficult year for the children and for all of us. And this week, alongside the efforts of course, the teachers and the administration, brought a lot of happiness to our children. And it was really wonderful to be a part of that. And again, just different activities. They were No One Eats Alone Day was on the 18th. The children just really got a chance to participate in an exciting environment right before their February break. It was really nice.
So I have some photos here, just random photos from the week. You'll see it was staff and students alike, all engaged in celebrating each other. And it just so happened that the 100th day of school was Dress for Success. So you can dress to success as a 100-year-old person, right? So we kind of melded the two together. So as we close out, I know we've said it a million times, but you know, PS 121 is a school that leads with heart. I know my heart isn't the best there, but we really do believe that I live it, I breathe it, we breathe it together as a school community. And really, at the end of the day, the kids are at the heart of what we do day in, day out. And back in October, we did all wear pink for breast cancer awareness. So that was our school photo. And it's so unfortunate that, you know, now we're in March, and this is one of the only times that I've seen the staff without a mask on, right? So that's just, I guess, the nature of where we are. So I'm excited for Monday where I can actually see my colleagues and see their faces as a whole. So that is PS 121. I thank you very much for this opportunity to share a little bit. So I appreciate everyone. Thank you all so much, and stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Wow, what an amazing presentation. So much happening at PS 121, and to you and to the entire team. Let's light up the screen with hands, like applause and hearts. And we gotta support our leaders in our community, in our school communities who do this work. All the principals who are on board tonight, all the teachers, all the counselors, all the custodians, everyone of you who are here tonight. We are thankful. We are grateful for all the work that you do, tireless work that you do day in and day out. And parents appreciate the fact that now you know the role parents play, right? With the pandemic, we saw how it was hard, right? To have our kids home and beyond teaching, that our teachers do more than teaching. We see that, right? So we are grateful. We are thankful, Mr. Trello. We are so happy to have you in 28 as a team member, as a collaborator, and we're looking forward to greater and exciting things with you in the district. Thank you so much for being here. Without further ado, my dear friends, we are going to move right through things. So it's now 7:44, and at 8 p.m., we're going to be blocking off the chat feature. Not chat, sorry, the speak feature. So if you want to make a comment later on, or you want to speak, you'll have 90 seconds, a minute and a half, because we always go based on the list of people, the amount of people that we have. And it's a school night, right? So each person will have 90 seconds to speak later on if you put the word speak in the chat feature. So please, everyone, if you want to speak later on, so far we had 12 people. We are closing that feature down at 8 p.m. We're going to have the last two items on our agenda tonight will be two resolutions that two members are presenting. We're going to first have member Ted Chang, who's our second vice president, who's presenting a resolution. And also then we're going to have our treasurer, Lou Zhao, who's also presenting a resolution. And then I'll make a motion later on to bring up the vote to the calendar meeting where we can go to resolutions right after the public comments section of our calendar meeting, and which I will close. And then later on, in our business meeting, we have an exciting part. We have a vacant seat in the council. So we'll be interviewing publicly. We have to do this publicly. Two candidates who applied to replace, to be in that seat. So today in our business meeting, we will be, can we please make sure everyone is muted? So we'll be interviewing those two candidates at our business meeting today. So folks, the public is welcome to stay by and listen and see this process. But without further ado, we'll be having our second vice president. His name is Ted Chang, and he will be presenting his resolution. Gentlemen, you each have 5 minutes to do so, okay? Thank you. Go for it.
Okay, let me share my screen here, the resolution on it. Thank you, VJ.
I'll give you a 1 minute mark, like to wrap up, right? It's just to you. So it's just FYI. Thank you.
Okay. Are you seeing the screen now?
Yes, we are.
Okay, great. So basically, just to be brief, this is a resolution about foundation aid, which is aid that New York City schools, or actually all the schools in New York, get from Albany and the state legislature. And there has been a really long fight over the years. It's over, like a 30-year fight going back to the 1990s in terms of advocacy by students and parents and activists and organizations and public officials, electeds. Everyone has been involved trying to get more funding for our schools, and in particular to get more equitably funded public education and supporting those needier urban school districts. And last year, in 2021, our council kind of weighed in during the middle of budget negotiations, and we really asked, as one council in a long line of councils and a long line of advocates and activists and parents. But we were one of the last councils to get involved on this issue and asked our legislators in Albany to help pass more funding for this foundation aid that supports schools around the state. And it just turned out that last year was the year that it finally happened. And then Governor Cuomo and the state legislature finally committed to phasing in and fully funding the foundation aid formula, which had been owed to all the school districts. So that was really a monumental achievement, just thinking about how many years that had gone into that campaign. But I think what many of us did not, realize, and certainly I didn't, was that when the budget proposal came out this year, out of the $345 million that is intended to go to New York City schools as part of that foundation aid, over half of it is currently intended to go to charter schools. They'll be getting like $200 million of that. And that really wasn't the intent of this campaign. I know for CEC 28, we were really thinking about the public schools because that's where those are the schools that need it most. Those are the schools that cannot reject a student when a student signs up to go to school. They can't, screen people out and tell people they can't come there. When someone wants to come to public school, they come to public school, and those are the schools that we support here on CEC 28. So we feel that we felt it was really important, so we passed that resolution last year, and I just am putting up this resolution this year just to ask our legislators to devote more of that funding towards the public school system, which is where a lot of the neediest students are. And there's all kinds of strange rules around charter schools, and that I have kind of discovered as a council member going to meetings at the Panel for Educational Policy and hearing that the public school system is required to provide space to charter schools, and some of the charter schools refuse to go find their own space, even though there's plenty of space that they can just go find themselves, but they refuse to do it, and they intentionally locate themselves co-locate them schools in public school buildings for no one even knows the reason. But so there are all kinds of weird things that happen behind the scenes.
1 minute, Mark.
So basically this resolution is asking for the legislature to dedicate the funding towards the public schools and to remove a lot of these supports that charter schools are getting and direct those supports towards the public school system. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ted. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for keeping the time. I want to acknowledge that we also have high school students here with us tonight. It's amazing to have high school students here tonight with us. And high school students have a vacant spot in our council. So each council needs to also have one high school non-voting member, but we have a seat for you. So please, high school students who are here, reach out. Can we make sure that everyone is muted? Yeah, can we, yeah. So high school students, please do apply to be part of the council, an amazing council. And next we'll have Lou Zhao, who will present his resolution on academically rigorous selection process for screened high school programs. Lou Zhao, you have 5 minutes and it's gonna start. Once you put on the screen, I'll start your timer.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, really quick, 1 second, Lou. I just want to acknowledge Karen Wang, who is the president of CCHS. She's here with us tonight also. I see her name's on the list to speak later on, but I just want to say, Karen, thank you for being here. We can't wait to hear you later on. Thank you so much. And also Effie, who is also part of CCHS. We are always happy to have the members of various other, elected bodies to visit our council. And if I missed anyone, I apologize, but I'll try. Thank you. Go ahead, Lou. The time starts now.
Hi. So this resolution is about the recent change to screen school admission in high school admission process. I will make it very quick. So first thing I want to make sure people understand is the screened program is not about a prize or it's not about pride. It's not about a bonus to students. It's a very practical purpose. It has a very practical purpose. So for very low grade students, you may think you can do something for a missed ability class, but when we come to high school, the performance gap is very big, and when you most of the subjects have a pre-required a level of knowledge and readiness. So it's almost impossible to teach a classroom with very wide ability, the readiness. So this is why we should have a screened program. And this new change brings, I think, 3 problems. One is because it has set a very low bar for the so it basically set multiple band, and the only band that actually matters for most of the screen school would be the first band, which is very wide, and it could go as low as 80 average 80 to 99. They have the same changes in the same band. So this make teacher very difficult to design the material to fit each student, all the student need. Now, even worse, that because the band is very wide and the seats in those programs are limited, there are bound to be some high performance student will not be in any of those programs. They will be in, a non-screen program. So you may ask, what's wrong with that? Well, this is a very unfortunate fact in our New York public system. An average student means someone does not meet grade level. So we have more than 50% of students don't meet grade level, and it gets worse when they come to a higher grade. So in a classroom with such a huge gap in performance, it's very difficult to, it's basically impossible to teach according to each's readiness and level. And it's going to fail both ends of the student. It's not going to help any, group of students. So it's a very difficult, environment to teach. And then the third point I want to make is, for the specialized high school, right? I know a lot of people have a problem with, the one highest, state test. Guess what? It's going to make it even higher stake, because it becomes the only reliable, option for many high performance students to, try to get into a accelerated, program. This becomes the only option, and in the past, some students may say, okay, I hate that one task. I can take care of my grade. I do everything, the homework, attendance, everything good. So I can get into a, program that fits my needs. That option, that option is practically gone right now. It's not reliable anymore. So this is a very important thing. And so I plead everyone to think about this rationally and using common sense. It's not about ideology or politics or anything. It's really about a very pragmatic issue. How we can teach students tailored to their need. It's not just the high performance student. Also for the low performance student, they need to be taught according to their level, and this will be better fit for them. It's not a better program. It's a more fit program.
Can you scroll down to where it says be it resolved?
Sure. Get that. So in conclusion, we've be resolved, and until a fair selection process is designed with input through engagement with the parent community, CC28 formally urges the chancellor to restore the screening process to be similar to the method used in the last year's high school admission process, except for the use of test scores available for most students, specifically by calculating an average of actual grade, math, EL, science, and social study, ranking the student and selecting the higher ranked student for acceptance. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You can stop sharing now, Lou. Okay. We appreciate that. Thank you so much. So council members, I would like to make a motion really quickly to bring up the voting of these 2 resolutions up to the calendar meeting from the business meeting after public comment. So does anyone second that?
Yes, I second that.
That is Cassandra. Thank you so much. Latifa, can you please take a roll call for voting, please?
First Vice President Barbara Williams. I believe Barbara had some connection.
She's in transit, yes.
Yes. Second Vice President Ted Chang,
Yes.
Treasurer Lou Zhao,
Yes.
Recording Secretary Nateefa Lewis, yes. Member Cassandra Alexander,
Yes.
Member Nancy Lugacy,
Yes.
Member Rajwinder Kaur,
Yes.
Member Shaliza Dean,
Yes.
Member Elena Aminova,
Yes.
President BJ Ramjatan.
Yes. You gotta say it.
Just one last call for Barbara Williams. I don't think she got back.
She's in
on.
transit, so she can't
Okay.
answer at this point. So you gotta say something. The resolution is passed. Go ahead. The motion is passed, right? So good. So we're gonna have, so there's Barbara. So let's call her real quick. She just joined back and she's having technical issues.
Member, First Vice President Barbara Williams.
Sish?
This is to move the voting on the resolutions from the business meeting as it was listed back up to the end of the calendar meeting after public comment.
Barbara, you there? Okay, so it passed already, so let's move forward with that. So let's just keep the meeting going. So at this point in time, I'm going to be calling down the list of speakers who signed up to speak, and after which we will be voting individually on each resolution that was submitted by both members, and we'll take a vote before we come to the close of the calendar meeting part. So the first person I have on, and we'll give each person 90 seconds. Maybe Matadin, do you mind, or Face Liaison, to please put the time on the screen? Beautiful, and there's a timer there. Can we not, okay, how can we make it less big so that way we can see people's faces? I don't know. Is that something, is that possible? Okay. I feel like we lose the humanistic aspect of this process when we put it.
You know, I think viable to wait. Okay, so you see what I was doing here? This was going to be like the ocean.
Okay, so the first person we have, I'm gonna call your name, is, one second, please. I have the list here. Give me one quick second. Your name is, we have an 8th grade student. Her name is Amy Nichols. Amy, you can unmute now. And our moderators, can you please unmute first 3 people at a time? So we call their name and be able to unmute themselves right after that. Just go ahead. Amy, go ahead.
All right. Hello, my name is Amy Nicholas, and I just wanted to talk about the new high school admission process. So in my opinion, I believe that it does the exact opposite of what the DOE wants it to do. I've been doing extra studying for the past 2 years from my regular school, and my average is around 98. But due to my lottery number, which was assigned to me, and it is in the bottom 20%, and the new reforms, I have a very slim chance into getting into any of the high schools that I'm applying to. And I believe that the new system, it will discredit many hardworking students and cause more harm than good. I understand that the DOE wants to give all kids equal opportunities, but I feel like it won't be equal if the most diligent students cannot get into the high schools that they want to go to. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much. Next person we have is, and thank you for being here, 8th grade student. We love having the students on our platform. Please come always, and do think about applying to be part of our CC. We have a space for that, okay? And reach out to our team and we'll tell you how to do that. Next, we have our next 6th grade student, Christina Raiskis. Christina, go ahead, please.
Okay. Hi, my name is Christina Rajewski and I'm in 6th grade. Recently, the Department of Education released a new admissions policy for screened high schools, which I found extremely unfair. I worked very hard for my 99.89 average, and my dream high school is Townsend Harris because it's very close to my home. However, my chances of getting into Townsend Harris are greatly reduced when a student with an 80 average has the same chances of getting in because of a lottery. This sends the wrong message to kids. The new high school admissions policy tells students that grades don't matter. What this admissions policy also does is allow the DOE to hide its failures. We have kids who can't read or do math at grade level. Instead of providing resources and extra help to try and bring up the level of these students so they can get into a rigorous high school through merit, not lottery, and thrive there, the DOE is focusing on eliminating the idea of merit because that is easier than helping the kids they're supposed to be educating. Putting kids in a school they weren't prepared for is not going to help them, and it most certainly won't help the majority of students who don't get in. If the Department of Education did a better job educating, then more students would be able to get into rigorous schools. I urge the CEC to vote on the resolution for merit-based high school admissions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Christina. This is your second appearance at our meeting. We're going to really get comfortable with you. Please do come more often, and you're always welcome to speak, and let us know. We'll put you always, even if you come late, we'll always put our students first to speak and give you that platform. Thank you so much for being here. Next, we have Venus Ketchum. Venus.
Good evening. Let's see what I can do in 90 seconds. Good evening, everyone. I'm Venus Ketchum, community and parent leader in education, community and education activist. I just wanted to shout out Dr. Pate for her wonderful presentation this evening. I was attended School District 27 CEC meeting this past Monday, and I acknowledged their superintendent for her thorough superintendent's report and presentation. And I was going to come back and say, hey, we got to get something similar, but Dr. Pate beat me to it. So I'm so proud of her. I also attended District 25 CEC, where they, I'm not sharing my screen, where they did a presentation around differentiated instruction for students who are identified or targeted for additional instruction. I want to acknowledge the youth that spoke today. I want to encourage us to invite more schools to present and share what's happening in our district. I forgot what I wanted to say. I had a whole list. Oh my goodness. Oh, data, she hit all those points. The chancellor, we had him last month. Parents, oh, my passion, okay, of course, is parents attended this meeting and speaking about and addressing their concerns and issues at their school, as well as highlighting the great things that happen at their school. My goal every month is for 10 parents, new parents, to come and share and just find the value of these meetings and bring it back to their school community so that our district can thrive. Hey, I did it, yes.
Yes, thank you so much, Venus, for always showing up and being an advocate for the parents for years. And thank you for always being that person. We acknowledge that and we thank you. Next person we have is Yatin Chu, then Jessica Zillo, then Heather Dimitriadis. So yeah, Yatin Chu, you're next.
You're muted.
Is she able to unmute? Let's make sure we can, there you go.
Okay, I just got it.
Go
Can
ahead.
you hear me now?
Yes, very clear. Go ahead.
Okay, great. My name is Yatin Chu. I am a frequent speaker at public forums and an advocate for the Asian community. Recent enrollment data confirm what I was hearing and seeing among parents. Asian families are choosing charter schools. Over 4,000 Asian families have kids in charter schools, a 165% growth in just the past 5 years. With a strong focus on structure, rigorous academics, and supportive hours and after-school programs, Asian families are gravitating to charter schools. I want to say that charter schools are public schools. I think there is a misconception the way that it's talked about, just like this is District 28, charter schools in the DOE system is District 84, and charter school students should be supported equally with space and funding. So I posed a resolution that is being decided at CEC 28. I also want to speak to the supporting the resolution for high school screen admissions. The DOE put forth a very deceptive screen policy, which is essentially a lottery. Parents who are not paying attention are going to be very surprised that their high achieving student with top grades are not going to receive the offer to a school that matches their ability and has the accelerated coursework to challenge their students. The contrived admissions was designed and modeled for racial balancing. The same intent was behind the change in admissions at a top STEM school in Virginia and was just ruled by the federal court to be unconstitutional because it discriminates against Asians. The top school in New York is Townsend Harris and King's.
Wrap it up now. The time is up. Let's wrap it
Sure.
up.
I just want to say that, when you do that, when you let in students that can't even perform at grade level proficiency, it really hurts the school. A school that's intended to give APs and bridge programs to CUNY should really have the resources to do that as opposed to shifting the resources to remedial classes. Thank you.
Thank you. Next week, thank you so much. Next week, and for all your hard work, thank you so much. We recognize it. Next we have is Jessica Zillo, followed by Heather Dimitriadis.
Hi, it's nice to see everyone this month. I'm Jessica Zillo. I'm actually going to speak on behalf of PS 220, be the PA president tonight. We are having still severe traffic issues near PS 220 on Yellowstone between 62nd Road and 62nd Avenue. I've reached out to the 112. They said that they would send out some support. We have yet to see it. Today I counted 7 cars that did not stop at the stop sign at a very busy traffic section where people actually almost got run over. And it's the same thing on the other corner. We really need to either install stoplights. I've worked with Heather with the community board, so we're trying to come out with some kind of resolve for this, but it's just gonna get hugely worse because of also the 3 other large apartment buildings that are being built. Traffic around as well around Forest Hills High School, around 175. We have 220 also is the only school with no school speed limit. Halsey, 175, 206, right? Forest Hills High School has a 15-mile-per-hour school limit. They are not anywhere close to Horace Harding Expressway. So I really need some help to get this resolved before somebody gets hurt. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We also want to acknowledge in our room tonight as Heather unmutes herself. We want to acknowledge Dennis Chan, who's the treasurer of District 26 CSC. Dennis, welcome. We acknowledge you here. And we also want to shout out our partners in the service. Thank you so much. Heather, go for it.
Hi, good evening. Tonight I'm here in my capacity as Community Board 6 Chair. I am here to talk about funding. I'm here to talk about the fact that Community Board 6 just got their response from the Office of Budget from the city, and all of our priorities for education were not funded. We were told unable to prioritize. Further study is required, unable to prioritize. And that is a problem for us. And so I'm coming to you tonight as you're making a funding decision tonight, as you will be making funding decisions going forward. Understand that there are needs in this district that aren't being met. Understand that Community Board 6 was asking for security cameras for schools. We were asking for crossing guards for all of our schools. We were asking for upgraded water fountains to help protect our students against disease transmission and against potential lead and mold in our pipes. We were asking to have the schools in Community Board 6 made ADA accessible, where you can have a child at Sage break their leg and they can get the class because they can take the elevator, but that same child attend Halsey and they can't get to class because there's no elevator in that building. Those are the things we're asking for. So we're coming to you tonight to say, every time you make a funding decision, understand that we have schools in our part of the district that have needs. We have a high school that's 184% capacity. We have 7 schools over 120% capacity. We've got a lot of construction happening. So please, when you make decisions on where funding should go, please make sure that it stays within our public schools. We appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you, Heather, and thank you for all the wonderful work you do in the Education Committee at CB6 and the tireless work you continue to do over the years. Thank you for being here. Next, we have Simone. Thank you. We have Simone Donmark, and then followed by Jean Han and Effie Zachary. So Simone, you're next.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I would like to let everyone know that our school is having which is the Academy for Excellence Through the Arts, PS 303 in Forest Hills. It is a district-wide school, so every child in District 28 can attend PS 303. They are having an open house, a virtual open house for pre-K, and I just want everyone to know, if you have pre-K children and are interested, it's a great school, please sign up. It's this Monday at 9 a.m. I'm gonna post the link in the chat. I also wanted to tell you all that I'm really concerned about the mask mandate being lifted for our children in schools. In our situation, we are having a family member who is who just recovered from a triple bypass. She has been living with us and she will be living with us again. And if we catch COVID, it means it's her death. So for us, masking up is really important. And the more children and people around us who are masking up inside of schools, help us to keep her safe. So please, please, if you can convey the message, there are families who want the mask mandate kept up in schools. Thank you.
Thank you, Simone. Thank you for always being here. See you later on. Thank you so much. Next, we're going to be having Jean Han. Jean?
Hi, everyone. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so I have a few points that I'd like to bring up on high school admissions. I'd like to reiterate the concerns of the students that spoke, and also I won't, without going into deep detail about why it's unfair, the methodology, et cetera, that was explained by one of the earlier speakers, Yatin, I think it is unfair. And I think that we are basically dealing with a lottery system where students who have very high GPAs, 99, and we're talking about a GPA, not a, a singular grade out of the best grades. So somebody with a lower grade, a lower GPA, there's this contrived point system where 80% of the students qualify in one bucket, in the first bucket. So it does seem like there's some huge unfairness here where it could be revamped to be a little bit more fair there in the admissions process. I also, without understanding really fully the charter school situation, I would ask the council to table it and come up with some data for the public to better understand what the situation is in terms of the budget. I still don't understand like what funding is received per student for public school students, what the average is. I know the average for public schools is very high, but what is it for charter school students? Before we take money from one student and to give to another, let's find out what that is. It's a simple ask. With the candidates that are running for the vacant seat, I would like to say I've been greatly offended by some comments that was made by one of the candidates last year. I grew up in a majority white school district. I was less than 1% minority, and to have somebody to call people out for being racist, for not wanting to get on board with the plan that I didn't think was fully on board with what the community had to say is somewhat offensive. And I take as the board to consider that. We need somebody that will unify the district.
Thank you, Jean.
Thank
you. You're welcome. We have Effie Zachary.
Hello, I'm Effie. I'm the Queens representative on the Citywide Council on High Schools. So we are very concerned about what's going on with high schools. We have been trying to meet with the DOE. The first thing I want to make very clear is that there has been absolutely no talking between the DOE and any principal or any parent leader regarding what they just released, which, as people have mentioned, is completely a lottery. Probably more than 80% of the students fall into the first group. And then also they're spinning it as if it is beneficial to most students in the system. They call it expanding opportunities, which it might be for very few students, but by and large, if you have a student who has a C average and you put them in a very academic, competitive and rigorous program like a Townsend Harris or Baccalaureate or Gateway to the Health Sciences in Jamaica, or even Carl Sagan or Da Vinci, which are specialized programs in certain schools, they're not going to benefit from a program that is way too hard. They're going to struggle. They're going to feel bad. They're going to be depressed. There's going to be a lot of bad ramifications for the psychology of that student. I think it is very important to be able to direct certain abilities. Students who are very able should be challenged and not bored. Students who are struggling should get the support they need, and to put everybody together in the same mix. It's not
Thank you, Effie. Wrap it up.
We're going to run out of resources for doing it well.
Thank you so much. Thank you for all the hard work you're doing and continued advocacy. We appreciate leaders like yourself in the community. Next, we have Heather Cohn, then we have Irene Ravensky, and then Karen Wang. Heather?
Hi, thank you so much. I'm a parent in the district. I also agree we should probably table the resolution on charter schools. I also don't feel like I have a full understanding of that. I think that is a great suggestion to table that. Mostly I want to speak on behalf of Simone and advocate for the council to vote her in as the new member tonight. I have had the pleasure of working with Simone as a member of the Racial Equity Committee at our school, and she's an incredible leader. I saw her, as a leader before the pandemic when we first entered the school at kindergarten with the PTA. She's an incredible listener. She really has the interests of all the students in the entire district in mind. And I think really as somebody who's very open to hearing feedback and making change and being swayed, because she really does have as everyone's best interest in mind. So I encourage you all to vote for her tonight. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for being here. Next, we have Irene Rievsky.
Hey, good evening. I'm speaking tonight in favor of the resolution to restore an academically rigorous selection process for screened high schools. When my 6th grade daughter learned of this new system rolled out by the DOE this year, she wrote an op-ed piece to the Queens Chronicle that has garnered a lot of community support. In it, she says, quote, "What's the point of studying if I have the same chance of getting into a good high school as a student with an 80 average? Some say that lotteries give opportunities to people who didn't get good grades, and that's why the entire admissions policy has to change to accommodate this. However, a lottery-based admission only teaches impressionable kids that life is a lottery. It's not," end quote. At a Queensborough President's meeting on February 15, a DOE official told us that the new admissions policy was designed to provide access to 13% more of Black and Brown students to screened high schools. Removing merit-based admissions in lieu of a lottery to provide more access to highly rigorous schools to students whose grades would not get them there shields the root of the problem, the low grades. Instead of dismantling academically rigorous high schools, the DOE should throw all its efforts on improving the underperforming schools so that the minority students they claim they care about actually get the help and the tools they need to do better. It seems so obvious that the problem is not the merit-based schools or the tests or whatever the scapegoat of the day is. The problem is the DOE's abysmal job at educating all of its students, all, and I want to emphasize that, to ensure that much more than 35% of minority students are performing at grade level. Currently, it's at 35%. So tonight, I urge our CEC to vote for this resolution and to put more pressure on the DOE to do a better job at educating its students. Thank you.
Thank you, Irene, and thank you for always being present and always doing all you do with district and always being on the CEC platform. Karen Wang, please go ahead. Who is our CCHS president? Go ahead.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Yes, go ahead.
Thanks for having me. My comments here today are in my own personal capacity. I don't think I could speak better than the students who spoke here earlier, whose lives are directly impacted by the new admissions process. I'll point out that CCHS passed a similar resolution regarding the high school applications process during our February meeting. The resolution that we passed simply holds the DOE accountable for their promise to parents for a screen admissions process. The Office of School Enrollment has disclosed to us that there are students with grades of 65 to 74 in Group 1, and that Group 1 includes a majority of the students applying for high schools. So it's a stretch to call the current process anything but a lottery. The mental gymnastics that went to creating this year's criteria is truly a slap in the face to the students. It tells every child who's worked hard to overcome the challenges of the past year that they don't have agency over their outcomes and their lives, that life is nothing but a series of random chances. And frankly, at the end of the day, this is nothing but racial balancing. And parents are taking notice. Regarding the resolution on charter schools are a lifeline for families in areas where our public schools are basically failing to provide a basic education to students. And charter school gets results. The DOE's budget, just to put it in perspective, is higher than the budget of the state of Massachusetts. The amount that goes to charter schools is a drop in the bucket. They're not the problem. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and I appreciate you being here. And you always come to our meetings. We appreciate you being here. Thanks for all your hard work, Ms. Wang. Next, we'll have Alyssa O'Shea, followed by Ari Feldman, then Melissa Mancuso. Alyssa, you're next.
Hi, good evening. Hello, District 28 community.
For those of you that don't know me, my name is Elisa O'Shea, and I am one of your 2 Queens representatives on the CCHS. The views that I am expressing this evening are my own. Thank you to the students that spoke tonight. Also, thank you to the D28 council members for their hard work in drafting the resolutions before us. Chancellor Banks acknowledged yesterday that the DOE has lost 120,000 families. However, I do not believe that the majority of these students leaving are from South Queens. As a resident of District 27 and with a child in high school in District 25, I believe our borough high schools are strong and that community roots run deep here for families. However, without rigorous standards of education and the option for applying to screen schools, many parents may elect to send their children to private, parochial, or charter schools. And some may consider moving to Long Island, which is a hop, skip, and a jump away, and the local school system there might just serve them better. I support the resolution to restore screened high school admissions criteria. There was virtually no parent engagement, and the CCHS was not consulted on any of these changes. The process has been confusing for families, and the data behind the algorithms for the lottery has not been disclosed to the CCHS, despite repeated requests for an explanation of implementation. Would you go to the casino up by Aqueduct and place a bet on your future without understanding the odds? I hope not. Please vote in favor of this resolution and keep our high school students growing and learning right here in Queens. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lisa. We appreciate it. And next we have Ari Feldman.
Thanks, VJ and council members. I'll try to speak quickly. I'm going to first speak against Lou's resolution. The new policies allow more students choice and it increases access for Black students, Latinx students, but also don't forget that it increases choices for students who are English language learners. And we know that they are learning languages, so they're going to get better at their academics as they go on. Students with IEPs who need extra supports, but that doesn't mean they don't also need rigor. We're also now have less data, right? So we're only using grades. That means our data is not as clear, which means we need a wider bucket to be able to determine whether or not students are ready for particular challenges. Just using one grade, just like using one test score for the Shazat, is not a great way to determine. And so you just have to have a wider array of students. Students have different merits. We heard before students with 85s aren't a grade level somehow. We also, just so that we're clear, screening also contributes to the segregation of New York City. New York is rated as the most segregated state in the country, and New York City is a huge contributor to that. And that means that students who are at some of these screen schools are in schools with huge, like we're talking multi-million-dollar PTA budgets. And that means students who aren't getting into those schools are being starved away. So it's not just a matter of which students are going to which particular classes, but also who gets to go on trips, who gets funding for other kinds of things. The goal of education is to support students. I also just really quickly want to say the resolution, the other resolution for charter funding is not to remove funding from charters. It is to make sure that the state pays for charters because the state owes the money.
Thank you, Ari. Next we have is Melissa Mancuso, followed by Chien Kwok and then Kaushik Das.
Hi, can you hear me?
Loud and clear, yes, go ahead.
Okay, that's great. Sorry, I'm gonna turn my video off because I'm just having some technical difficulties. So hello, thank you, council. My oldest child is at PS 303 and I'm in the process of applying for pre-K, for 3K for my younger child. I do notice we have a lot of folks living outside our district who came to advocate for their political agendas tonight, and which I just could not imagine doing at any of your CEC meetings. I do want to thank the students who spoke tonight and thank them for their self-advocacy. I am confident that they'll find success in the future. Kudos to them. I have to say, though, I don't support the resolution to scrap the high school admissions process as it stands now. Grading policies and the application of those policies are just unevenly applied across classrooms and within schools. Pandemic has been a time of interruptions, it's school life and home life. And so it seems like the wrong time to ignore the realities of that, just, the difference between a 90 and a 91 or a 95 and a 96. How meaningful is it truly? So knowing as a teacher what differentiation means in a classroom, knowing as a parent who just had a really great parent-teacher conference, shout out to my child's teacher who's differentiating really skillfully in that classroom. So yes, I do not support that resolution. I do support the resolution for equitable distribution of funds by the state. I also endorse Simone for CEC. She's done a phenomenal job with the 303 school community, great communication, strong on family engagement, truly has the interests of all students and families at heart, great listener. Thank you so much for the time.
Thank you so much. Just so that everyone knows, we only have 1, 2, 3, 4 more speakers. We did cut off the speaking for at 8 p.m. So we do have Chin Kwok, Kaushik Das, Latrice Pelliceler, and Lauren Calvin. So in that order, that'll be the last 4 speakers. So this time, Chin, your turn is now. Not sure if I'm saying correctly. Chien is the first name. Chin. Okay, while we think.
Chen Kwok, I think is who you're asking for, right?
Yes, so I said. Okay, so we'll come back to Chen. Let's go to Kaushik Das.
Hi, you guys can hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Hi, Vijay. My name is Kaushik Das. For those who don't know me, I'm from CECD2. I'm the co-chair of Admissions Diversity Committee at that council. What am I doing here? I'm here to support my fellow CEC members who have put together similar resolutions. My CEC District 2 happened to be the first one to put together one of these resolutions, and I think it's great that CECs come together to support their common needs. We even put in advance in collaboration with CCHS. To the many people some of the people that spoke before, I think 1 or 2 people mentioned the fact that this policy will increase access to Black and Hispanic students by 13%. What's not discussed is what that comes at the expense at, which is likely the 10% of Asians. If that's really what we want, that's one thing, but I can tell you that very recently, I met with BJ at a council where he was with several other Asians. We're talking with Senator John Liu and how the Asian population is affected by these policies, and they were not happy. Someone talked about this being a wider bucket because we need this for decreased finiteness in the criteria that we have. There's a difference between a wider bucket and a really frickin' gigantic bucket. The estimates for this bucket are roughly, by my estimates, 78% of all graduating high school students. Other estimates range from 60 to 82%, which I think a CCHS member mentioned, and even enrollment has confirmed that it's the majority of the students graduating from 8th grade. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and thank you for the work on the CEC and for do what you do, Kaushik. Next we have Chin is here. So Chin, I'm going to ask you to unmute now, and you can go ahead and speak now. Chin Kwok?
Yes, hi. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, I'm just, I'm a member of CC District 2. I'm joining in support of the resolution to restore academic rigor into the admissions process for the high schools. And I'm speaking for myself. It's not representing the whole council, but we need to have a way for the high achieving students of any background, race, income level, and especially the disadvantaged low-income students, to have an opportunity to have options for schools where their academic high performance is supported and challenged. And a lot of people make an assumption that Black and Hispanic kids are not capable of doing this, and I know that's not true. And every child needs that. And like I said, it's the low-income disadvantaged kids who really need it because, there are a lot of wealthy families in District 2, and I'll tell you, they may not care as much because they are 2-income families and they can go supplement their children's academics when they don't have that. But disadvantaged kids don't have that option, and they need a public school option that supports their learning needs at the higher end of the learning spectrum. And restoring academic screens does that. A true screen, not this fake, false, fraudulent, grouping with buckets 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. That's just lying to parents. And the other thing is, a lot of families travel long ways to send their kids to find the best education. And this is the fraud that gets committed, makes parents travel long distances, make their kids travel long distance for a false promise. And that's even worse.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Time is up. Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you for all the work as a council member. We appreciate you doing what you do. Next we have is Latrice Pelletier. Latrice. Latrice, are you there? Let's see if she's here. Nope, she's not. So we'll move on to the next person is Lauren Calvin. Lauren Calvin, are you there?
I'm here.
Go for it.
Good evening, everyone. First, I just want to address what I'm seeing in the comments, and it would be nice if someone from council had the capacity to moderate the comments. I call for decorum. I think it's just shouldn't be happening that particular individuals are being called out and maligned. I just don't want to see that. It's counterproductive. It's not what we're all here for. This is supposed to be about our kids, right? I am a parent in the district, unlike a bunch of people who are here tonight, but that's okay. I am in support of the charter resolution, and I just want to clarify that this has nothing to do with opposing the existence of charters. It's simply an issue of equitable funding. New York City is the only district that's responsible for 100% of the tuition to charters. It's the only district in the state that the state does not contribute. So we're paying 5 times as much per student to for-profit charter schools than we are to traditional public schools. And that just simply doesn't make sense. All of our kids should get the same amount. And I think everyone, if they understood that formula, would agree with this resolution. And I also want to say that I do not support the resolution about high school admissions. We need a better way. We need a better way. The current system is simply not equitable. Thank you.
Thank you so much. BB, you can stop sharing the screen now with the timer. I want to remind folks that our chat feature is at the privilege of all of us, and we reserve the right to shut it down ASAP if it becomes unruly and disrespectful to any council members or community members. So we just want to make sure we are echoing this platform that CEC has created where everyone can speak, everyone can alleviate their concerns, but also be respectful. Name calling can be something dangerous, right? And also I think we should leave, I think we're all adults here. Leave the name calling out of this platform. I appreciate the amazing grade 28 members. We are beyond this. We're better than this. I trust that we will rethink, reassign, reevaluate, and move to a better, brighter day. And if you see something that someone's doing that's not correct, we should move to allow to help to teach and to elevate, right? Not to critique and put down. So I'll ask everyone at this point in time to refrain from this type of dialect in the chat, or else we will pull it down. Just FYI. So at this time, thank you for all those who spoke tonight. We appreciate all of you who came on tonight and spoke your truth and your thoughts and your ideas. We appreciate that. So this time, I will ask the council members to please, if you have any comments, questions, concerns, or any points you want to make, this is the time. Even if you want to comment on the resolutions, you are more than welcome to do so at this point, after which we'll ask the presenters of these resolutions if they want to move and make a motion to have it voted on, and we'll take that next step. So first of all, I will call on First Vice President Barbara Williams. Do you have anything to report? Any comment, questions, concerns for presenters or resolution makers? Okay.
Thank you, VJ. I appreciate it. No, I reserve my time at this time. I have nothing to say.
Thank you, Barbara. Next, we have Second Vice President Ted Chang.
I'm sorry, Vijay, I just missed it. Are we speaking about the resolutions as well right now?
Yeah, if you want to make a
Receiving our-
comment, if you want to make a comment, you have 1 minute, right? Each member has a minute. So
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess I'll just briefly just say that about the about the charter school resolution that, there's the High Court of New York State, the Court of Appeals, has issued 3 separate rulings on the underfunding of public schools in New York State. And so it has taken 3 consecutive high court rulings, and even then, the legislature has found ways not to fund the schools according to final court orders from the Court of Appeals. And so this campaign to get more equitable funding for the public school system comes directly out of those final court orders. And it really is just saying that the funding that was already due under these final court orders is still not paid.
Ted,
and
1
needs to
second,
be paid.
please. Ted, 1 second, please.
Sure.
Can we please close the chat down? Thank you so much. Moderator, please close the chat. Thank you so much. Ted, continue, please.
Sure. And then I guess I just wanted to comment on the high school resolution. I appreciate the concerns that everyone has brought tonight, and I certainly, really love to hear the students speaking. I just think it's always wonderful to hear young folks, getting in public and putting themselves out there. So I really appreciate the students who came tonight. I just think that, I think, Lauren put it well when she just said very simply, there has to be a better way. And, listening to some of the comments tonight, you would almost think that there are no students going to Forest Hills High School, or there are no students that go to Metropolitan High School, or that there are no students who go to Hillcrest. But in fact, we have many schools that admit a diverse set of students, and we certainly have schools that admit students that get Bs and above. So I think it's very doable. Thank you.
Thank you, Ted, and thank you for your work on the resolution and taking the time to write the resolution. We appreciate your diligent work. Next, we have Recording Secretary Natifa Lewis.
Hi, good evening. BJ, I did have 2 comments related to the resolution, but I also wanted to report out as I was able alongside Jessica Zillow to have a meeting with OPT. Thank you, BB, for facilitating earlier this week. And we brought up quite a few of the issues with transportation in the district, both specific issues in terms of students missing education time when they're reaching as much as half an hour late, unsafe conditions because they're being picked up late or not picked up at all, etc. And we have a commitment from the central office that they will be looking into it. They've also spoke about the fact that they will be establishing a task force and will be reaching out to parent leaders to help facilitate that, to have more long-term solutions. Jessica did bring up in particular the concerns with housing, with general ed students, with the fact that they are not looking at districts on a very individual basis to look at their needs. To make sure that those things happen. So this was, I believe, a very productive meeting, and we look forward to those concerns. I also had the opportunity to represent the Council in BJ's stead in person at the accidentally muted, at the Chancellor's Bowl Vision release yesterday. And again, he did emphasize that he wants to work with district, look at what is working. He did make a couple explosive announcements, but again, it was a good meeting and opportunity to connect and to introduce myself on behalf of the district and the great work, like Dr. Pate earlier indicated that is happening there. And they did, both the first Deputy Chancellor and himself indicate that they will be reaching out more. In my 2 comments, my personal comments related to the resolution, I am actually in support of both resolutions that are on the floor. As a parent who has students who are now in middle school and a high schooler, I understand that it is frustrating to a high performing student to not feel that they're valued for that. I understand from the perspective of those who are saying that not passing the resolution allows for a broader vision. But this resolution says not that we should not go back to the ground and look at ways to expand, but it says that keep in place what is there, which gives those students that opportunity until we have a better solution. And I am in favor of doing that and finding the better solution.
Thank you, Latifa.
As far as the charter goes, my last comment, sorry. As far as the charter goes, I also support that in terms of equitably funding. That's it.
Thank you. Next, we have Lou Zhao, Treasurer.
Hi. My comment on the charter for, first of all, I don't have much of the research and back knowledge of the charter school system. I do think it's a valid choice for a lot of families. I believe it mostly serve for disadvantaged school districts. And the number that in the resolution, it came out like, per person, how much money, etc. I do believe it come from I don't know, but I do believe it probably come from a formula. It's not like someone just favor, charter and make up that number. So that formula, that come back to, why, they come back this number. They may be very legit reason to have that amount. Again, I think there's a lot of things to know before I can make it, a judgment on that one. And for the, I think that's about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Lou. Next, we're going to be having Lena Amenova, Councilmember Lena Amenova. Okay, we just come back to Elena. Next, we're going to have Nancy Lugasi.
I'd actually like to withhold comment at this time.
Thank you. Next, we're having Councilmember Shalisa Dean.
Yes, hi, everyone. I want to share my opinion on both resolution, and that is that I agree with both. Ted and I communicated on the resolution that he mostly wrote, and I have co-signed. That's the nice one, right? In terms of community outreach, I have updates on several resources. We have MS217 having a food pantry on the 12th, when we will also have vaccine trucks out there, as well as the Arab American Family Sports Center will be out there providing information on the Briarwood initiatives. They have the funding to start a gardening, and they have mental health training for our students in that area. We will send them directly to your email. We also have Flushing Town Hall sent out information, updates as to what the programs they currently have for the community, as well as JCAL opening up on the March 12th for the community learning at their center, and opportunities for Title I parents and Title I funds are there for us. We will post any information on our outreach area, so please check out our website. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Shalisa Dean, and also thank you for the wonderful town hall you hosted with the resources for our community, or the fire safety and all the other stuff you took aboard. It was widely accepted, and a lot of schools and parents who attended that resource center actually reached out and asking, can we have those resources locally in our schools? So I want to congratulate you and thank you for the work that you do consistently to bring needed resources to our district. Thank you so much. Next, we're going to be having Cassandra Alexander. Remember Cassandra Alexander?
Yes, I reserve the right to speak at this moment. I have nothing.
Thank you so much. And next, we're going to have member Rajon Dakar.
As we all know, today was a parents-teacher conference. I did receive a few calls after the conference. Parents were really upset about the lottery system admission. And second thing, a few of them got to know about the state tests, which are not mandatory at this time. They were like, no, this is not fair. People are, kids are studying, kids are working hard, and they are not mandatory. And moreover, they are not getting admission according to their merit basis. So I did ask them to join our meeting because we knew that the resolutions are going to be there so that they can get some knowledge. We are working on that. So as a parent of public school, my child is also going to the middle school. And to be honest, I was also like, what is this? My kids are gifted and talented students, and they are being treated with everyone. I know everybody is gifted and talented, but still it matters a lot while the admissions and the education is concerned. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So at this time, Elena is not back as yet. Elena, are you back as yet? She is doing 10 things at once. We know we all parents, right? Being parents.
Easily included.
There you are. Okay, so she's back. Perfect. So we thank you, council members, for your work and for your dedication and time and commitment to this council and the parents of this district.
Yeah.
You're here. Okay. Do you have a comment, Elena?
No.
Thank you. Last, before we go to the voting, public, you will not come to District 28 and create a ruckus. You will not come to District 28 and come on our chat and create a problem and bring it to the situation that we have right now. It's not going to happen. We work very hard in our district to keep a certain decorum and respect for all. Please, it will not happen on our chat. And I'm asking you to respect our way of our functioning, our way of hosting our meetings. And the public is seeing, right, what's going on. So we're going to ask all of you who caused this chat to be shut down today to take notes. We're taking notes. All right, please. So at this point in time, I'm going to be asking the council members who did present resolutions. Ted, you first, then we're going to have Lou Zhao after. If you want to make a motion to have a vote on your resolution. Ted Chang, you want to start?
Sure. Okay, so I will make a motion now to pass the resolution on funding public schools with foundation aid, not charter schools.
I second.
Okay, can we do a roll call, please, Mr. Lateef Lewis?
First Vice President, am I unmuted? Yes. First Vice President Barbara Williams.
That's a yes for me.
Second Vice President Ted Chang.
Yes.
Recording Secretary Lateef Lewis, yes. Treasurer Lou Zhao.
Abstain.
Member Nancy Lugacy.
Abstain.
Member Cassandra Alexander.
Abstain.
Member Shaliza Dean.
Yes.
Member Rajwinder Kaur.
Yes.
Member Elena Aminova.
Abstain.
Okay, so we have President Vijay Ramjatan.
Abstain.
Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 yeses. So the motion to vote on the resolution does not pass.
Thank you so much. Next, we're going to be having a resolution presented by Member Lou Zhao. Lou, do you want to make a motion?
Yes, I make a motion to pass a resolution to restore academically rigorous selection process for screen high school program. Thank you.
Recording Secretary Lateef Lewis, can you please do a roll call?
First Vice President Barbara Williams.
Abstain.
Second Vice President Ted Chang.
No.
Recording Secretary Lateef Lewis, yes. Treasurer Lou Zhao.
Yes.
Member Nancy Lugacy.
No.
Member Cassandra Alexander.
No.
Member Shaliza Dean.
Abstain.
Member Rajwinder Kaur.
Yes.
Hold on, who am I missing? Member Elena Aminova.
Yes.
President Vijay Ramjatan.
Yes.
Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 yeses. 1, 2, 3 noes and 2 abstentions. So that motion also to vote also did not pass.
Okay, thank you so much. At this time, the time now is 8:52 p.m., which is great timing. I'll ask Dr. Pate to please say a few words before I close it off. Dr. Pate.
This was a power-packed evening together. Thank you for your leadership, President Ramjan. Thank you so very much for your comments, especially regarding that chat. You know, we tackled that. You tackled that at the 2 years ago, really, and you have done an exceptional job in ensuring that this was a space of respect and sharing of ideas and action at the district level. Thank you for the opportunity to be in community with all of us, and thank you everyone who participated on tonight. My district team is here. Thank you all so very much for being here on tonight, and that's all. Good night, everyone.
Also, I want to say thank you, Dr. Pate and team. We are hosting a principal's breakfast. Yay! So we are doing something.
I forgot to say that.
Yes, for the first time ever, CEC 28 is going to be hosting a principal's breakfast. A principal/legislative breakfast, where we're going to be having a safe space for leaders and for our electeds and principals to meet, talk, network, and build agency, right? And this is going to be taking place on April 5th, which is Tuesday, April 5th, which is right before our April 7th meeting. So it will be April 7th, and this is going to be amazing. A lot of work we're doing. We are asking the public, we are reaching out to sponsors to help sponsor breakfast for our gala. We're reaching out, we got a space. I'm grateful to say Liberty Palace on Liberty Avenue has sponsored their space free of charge to host this event. It's amazing. District 28. Thank you so much. But keep notice, we're bringing back all the amazing news to all of you. It's now 8:54 and this meeting is adjourned. We'll be starting our business meeting promptly at 9 p.m. So council members, please stay put, where we'll be interviewing our two potential members for one seat at the council. Thank you all. Please allow everyone to unmute at this time, moderator, and please come on camera and say hi and say bye and say something. We'd love to hear from you.
VJ, I want to say it's Ramadan, April 4th, April 5th. That's not fair.
Oh.
I know, fair is so hard. Fairness is so hard, but yes, Ramadan begins on April 2nd. And
happy Women's History Month. So everyone, happy Women's History Month.
Yes. Thank you, VJ. Happy Women's History
Happy
Month,
Women's
everyone.
History Month.
Very well.
Have a good night,
Thank you all for
everyone.
being here.
Good night. Thank you.
Good night. Good night. Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone. Hey, Sue.
Hi.
Thank goodness. I think
Yeah.
Raj is here. Thank you.
He's here.
Yay. All right, Sonia. You will be well.
For the
Thank
two
you so much.
candidates,
Take care, everyone.
the
Do
two
I
candidates.
do I open the
Sorry.
chat at this point or no?
The what? The chat?
Yeah.
No, we're just gonna leave it down for now. So we don't need the chat for our our business meeting. The two candidates, please do stay on, okay?
VJ.
Good night, CC members.
VJ, is
bye,
Seema
VJ.
is Seema in a hammock in her home or somewhere tropical, enjoying the sun?
Good night.
Make us
Good
more
night, babe.
jealous. There you are. Good night,
Miss
everybody.
Singh?
Take care.
Look at Miss
Bye-bye.
Singh.
Good night.
Love it.
Good night, guys.
Good night. Good night.
I see you. You're unmuted. You're saying hello, Miss Singh?
I am saying hello and good night. Good night, Mr. VJ.
Good night, Seema Safe. Thank you for all your hard work in District 21, District 28 at PS 121 as a
Always,
PTA president.
always.
Amazing work.
Thank you. And thank you guys too for the support.
Hopefully one day you'll be on the CEC Council too. We look forward to having
I
you.
hope so. Yes, I just have a few more months here, so I will have to do an
Definitely not in the hammock.
Oh no. All right,
Very
guys.
well.
You guys have a good night. Good night. Stay blessed.
Have
Thank you.
a great night. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hi, good evening. I wonder if anybody knows if there are going to be if there's any practical changes that will happen now that we don't have the banks has gotten rid of the superintendent's positions, other than the one over Dr. Pate.
I think it's kind of premature to like really say what will be the next immediate action, because the guidance has not been put down in terms of what will be like in place now that we can have that void, or what is the plan next to use those funds or those positions, right? I think that's definitely a question that we can definitely bring up to him when we meet with him coming up soon this month. I'll take a note of that, Jennifer. Like, what's next step then? And now that you don't have these people, what we're gonna have next, right?
Right.
The only thing he mentioned was that the superintendents will be given more expanded responsibilities. So I don't know. He didn't mention anything as far as the funding, just in terms of the responsibilities.
Got it. Thank you.
Didn't he also say something that like the money that goes towards executive superintendents right now, he would redirect some of that towards staff that supports the superintendents? I sort of remember him saying that. So maybe the superintendent's office, will get a little bit of help that way.
Dorinda, I'm going to call you for 1 second. We're starting our business meeting in approximately 1 minute. We're starting our business meeting. Can we please make the two potential two candidates co-hosts, please, at this point? Okay, and then I know we have the questions here. Hello.
You're muted, VJ.
Hi, VJ.
I'm telling the kids go to sleep. Hi, Karen.
Hi, could I have your email address so I can contact you directly?
Most definitely. It's my first name, V as in Victor, I-A-A-H dot period my last name, Ramjatan, R-A-M-J-A-T-T-A-N period D28 CEC at gmail.com.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for being here.
Have a
Thank
good
you.
evening.
You too. Okay, it's now 9 p.m. Thank you so much. I'm looking here for a QUES interview. I got the questions here. Perfect. Beautiful. So the time now is 9 p.m. So can we please mute everyone so that they are not allowed to unmute themselves except the council members who are co-hosts. And let's see here, 1 second, please. Full screen. Beautiful. And we have made our
I'm sorry, you need to unmute as well, VJ. Just mute it all.
There it is. I'm back on. Can we do a quick test? Make sure all your mics are working. Candidates, can you please unmute and say hi really quick? Let's say hi so we know your mic is working.
Hi.
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 Beautiful. Perfect. Okay, good. So your mics are working. You can mute back now at this time. Excellent. So the time now is, let me get my time check here, is 9:01 p.m. And we yes, Barbara, I see you then do the dance. It's 9:01 p.m. and we are going to call this meeting into order, our business meeting for March 2022. Again, my name is VJ, the president of CC28, and at this point in time, I'll be asking our recording secretary to do a roll call for our business meeting. Please go ahead, Ms. Tifa Lewis.
President Vijay Ramjatan.
Present.
First Vice President Barbara Williams.
I'm here.
Second Vice President Ted Chang. Second Vice President Ted Chang. Okay, I'll come back to Ted. Treasurer Lou Zhao.
Here.
Recording Secretary Natifa Lewis, here. Member Nancy Lugacy.
Here.
Member Cassandra Alexander.
Here.
Member Shaliza Dean,
Here.
Member Rajvinder Kaur,
Here.
Member Elena Amanova,
Here.
and Second Vice President Ted Chang.
Here, sorry.
Okay.
Thank you so much. We have a full house. That's great. All right. So we're going to move right into our agenda tonight to make sure we cover as much as we can. So I first ask our two candidates. I'll be calling Simone and then is it Elisa? Elisa, how you pronounce your name? Can you just correct me, please?
Well, my closest friends call me Ms. Brin, but
Ms. Brin.
but for this evening, everyone can call me Elisa or EB.
Elisa. So it's Elisa or Ms.
Yes.
Brin. So,
Or EB. I'm joking, by the way. It's EB or Elisa, whatever's easiest.
okay, thank you. And Simone, we addressing you as Simone or Ms. Dornbach? How you want me to address you?
Simone is fine.
Beautiful. Okay, so this time quickly, just introduce yourself. Nothing too long. And we, you all know me. Take on everything on a time thing, right? So you have 1 minute to each. Just introduce yourself to the council. Go ahead. Public. Two things. The public is here today, and we please refrain from using the function of the reaction function, hearts and applause, all that stuff. This is a safe space for the council to do its business. So to the public who's present, please do not use the reactions button on the screen. Thank you. So I did you a time check now, Simone, and starts now. You have 1 minute to just introduce yourself. Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Simone Dornbach. I'm a parent in this district. My children, 2 girls, are going to PS 303, the Academy for Excellence Through the Arts in Forest Hills. I myself live in Rego Park. I have been a parent leader since 2019. I was the co-president of our PTA. And I've been attending CEC meetings many times. Prior to the pandemic, I have also been a working group member for the diversity plan for our district, which is right now on pause. I hope it will get started at some point again. Yeah, I am by profession. I am a social worker and a conflict resolution practitioner. Yeah, that's my background in a nutshell.
Perfect timing. 1 minute. There you go. Thank you so much. We can remove the spotlight and let's spotlight Ms. Brin. At this time, I'll reset the timer. And can we spotlight Ms. Brin at this time? And go ahead.
And thank you so much. And before I start, I just want to mention I'm battling a cold, so I apologize if I'm not as concise and on point as I would like to be. Just to introduce myself, I'm a class parent and an NYU educated attorney who practiced law for many years before resigning to focus on my family. I was one of only 2 females from my high school class to go to law school. And while I never had a chance to participate, I was recommended by my daughter's school to be part of the advisory committee for the D28 diversity plan. And one of the things I've been thinking about lately is how I benefit every day from the sacrifices my grandparents, 2 of whom were high school graduates, the other 2 didn't make it that far, made for my parents and the sacrifices my parents made in turn for me. At both schools my children attend, I meet parents who have also sacrificed financially and meaningfully to provide their children with a good education. It is imperative we acknowledge the sacrifices made by these working parents, while also working to ensure one zip code does not determine or perhaps doom a child's education, a sentiment I believe our current chancellor has expressed very well. The town hall you arranged with Chancellor Banks was inspiring, and his commentary on his educational goals very encouraging. If I'm selected to fill the vacancy, I look forward to collaborating with all of you on the best strategies for this community.
Thank you so much for both of you for being here and to expressing interest to be a part of this dynamic and amazing council. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 questions that we're going to be asking, and we're going to be asking each of you. We're going to give you a minute to respond to each question, okay? Because we have to keep things concise. So the first question I want to ask you, and we're going to have Latifa, you'll ask a second question, okay? So the first question I want to have is, and you have 1 minute each to do the timing. So I'll ask Ms. Alexander, Shaliza, Cassandra, can you please do the timing for me, please? Cassandra?
Sure.
Thank you so much. So the first, after the question is read, then you put the timing, and then we'll do Simone, you do the first question, and then Ms. Byrne, and the next question, Ms. Byrne will answer, then Simone will go second. So let's be fair in that way, yeah? First question is, why do you want to be a member of CC28? Time, Simone.
I have always been on the other side, attending the CEC meetings, and I feel like it's time to step up. It's easy to complain and to challenge the CEC members, but doing the actual work is not that easy. What I hope I can do if I become a CEC member is to provide a space for parents to raise their concerns and to be a liaison with the DOE. So another reason why I want to be on the CEC is that I really like the district. During my PTA time, I have met a lot of different families. I also go to a district school, so I know a lot of families from District 28, and I think we are really the great 28. And my last reason is I like you. I'm unfortunate to apply for a seat that became vacant in the middle of the year, so I got to see you as a council, and I feel confident that I'm a good match, that I'm going to be able to work with you all, or that you're going to be able to work with me all, because I think this council is a really good group. You shine outside. I haven't seen any. Oh, okay.
Thank you.
All right.
I'm
That's
sorry.
it.
Your time is up. I'm sorry. Thank you.
Ms. Byrne, I'll repeat the question in your own words. Why do you want to be a member of CEC 28?
But before I start the timer, I just want to apologize again. I have a cold, I have a fever, and I'm just not at my best. Thank you. Like all of you, I have children in the district, excuse me. I'm interested in improving educational outcomes for them and everyone, in fact. Things I've been doing informally outside of this forum. I just think there's so many more opportunities working with the group. If I'm selected to fill the vacancy, one of my first projects would be working with other parents who have children with IEPs or require supportive services, and putting together a town hall on early childhood intervention and strategies to improving outcomes. I think that's so important, something I really could have benefited from when my younger daughter was first referred for evaluation. Not something we requested if she was referred for it by the preschool. Equally, there are many issues that I think many of our students are struggling with. And the first of those is the academic gap, pre-COVID and post-COVID. Children who did not have a relative to supervise their learning have suffered especially. Even in my younger daughter's school, which is a quote unquote blue ribbon school, I'm doing PAL presentations in the classroom. I'm seeing children struggle with basic concepts that are well below their grade level. And I'm hoping we can work on those things. And of course, the other big problem that I'm hoping to work on by working on the academic gap is hopefully working to stop the declining public school enrollment. For those of us that remained in the city and are dedicated to seeing the public schools thrive, it's very sad to see empty classrooms.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Our time checker is on point. Next, we have Natifa Lewis. Go ahead with your question.
Okay, and the question would be directed first to Ms. Byrne. D28 is a very diverse district in terms of socioeconomic status, political views, ethnicity, school scores, programming, and more. If selected as a council member, how would you aim to provide broad-based support to elevate the concerns of all our families, even when they do not mirror your own? Their views do not mirror your own.
Well, I want to start off by saying that the one good thing about K-8 is that it should not be political. When it comes to our children, we're looking to raise independent, critical thinkers, okay? In my opinion, that defies political labeling. We're trying to raise empathetic human beings. Again, something that is beyond political labeling. You know, in my career for over 20 years, I've had to deal with all sorts of people, you know, from the generous and the kind to the obnoxious and the offensive. So far, my dealings in this district, I've only met pleasant people, very respectful. I hope political differences wouldn't be an issue. When it comes to this district and the council, the things that matter the most are providing the children with the foundations of a very good education. When I was trying to run for the council last spring, I went to every corner of this district, and every parent I spoke with, and this is at over 20 schools, had the same concerns, wanting a better, more rigorous education for his or her child. Political differences never.
Thank you. I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut you off. Your time is up, but thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. And I'll repeat the question for you, Simone. D28 is a very diverse district in terms of socioeconomic status, political views, ethnicity, school scores, programming, and more. If selected as a council member, how would you aim to provide broad-based support to elevate the concerns of our families, even when they do not mirror your own?
I think the first step would be to listen and learn. That's something that I did as a PTA co-president in our school. We have families from all over the district, and we are not always on the same page. And I find it very important that every parent has a voice. Being on the CEC, it's really important that we always remember that the work we are doing is for every child in the district and not just for a few. I do have a track record as the co-president at the PTA. During the diversity plan, when it started, emotions went high, and in our school, it did not run high, because what I did was I provided information and I allowed everyone to voice their opinion about it, because that's what it was about, to hear families from all over the district and to hear what they have to say, to learn, and to collect information. And
thank you so much.
Thank you.
Your time is up. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next we're going to be, and we apologize. We would love to hear what you have to say, but we can't, right? We have this is a school night, right? So next we're going to be having Lu Zhao to read a question. Lu Zhao.
I'm sorry.
I can read it for you if you don't have it.
Yeah, please. I didn't get
no
it
problem.
Open. Yeah.
And tell you to do the other question after. Okay.
Sure.
This question was submitted by one. These are questions by the council members that was submitted. Okay. What is your suggestion on the diversity plan for District 28? For the sake of time, please do not talk about why you think a diversity plan should or should not happen, since now it is mandatory. Also, please try to be specific. Talk about real actionable ideas, such as busing, zone removal, special programs, etc., that you think are feasible for our district. This is Simone's question.
Thank you. I'm actually happy that you're asking that question, because as a working group member, we were never asked what our role is and what our opinions are. The reason why I joined the working group back then was to facilitate a dialogue between families, between the North and the South. I do not have any specific suggestion, because that was never my role, and I would never serve on an important group like this, just like in the CEC, with having an agenda. I think that's the worst thing you can do, to run your own agenda. So no, I don't have any specific suggestion. The only thing that I have always said and will continue to do is I'm here to listen to all of the parents, to their suggestions, to learn from them what is important to them, and then make a decision together with the other working group members.
Thank you so much. Time's up. Thank you.
I'll repeat the question from Ms. Bryn.
Thank you. By the way, please call me Elisa. I was joking earlier. I was joking.
Oh, okay. Sure, Elisa. So Elisa, what is your suggestion on the diversity plan for District 28? For this time, please do not talk about why you think a diversity plan should or should not happen, since now it is mandatory.
Understood. Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, can you don't interrupt me, please? My face, you will speak. Also, please try to be specific. Talk about real actionable ideas, such as busing, zone removal, special programs, etc., that you think are feasible for our district. Thank you.
Understood, understood. I'm so sorry. I was going to ask if the timer could go up. Anyway, okay. It's my opinion that if a plan is to be successful and remain in place over a long term, meaning multiple mayoral administrations, really for the long term, it will require substantial input and leadership from each portion of the district community, including the parent body. The focus of any plan should be transparency, equitable participation by all district communities, and a pragmatic approach to the geographical breadth of the district and the reliance of many parents on public transportation. We're a district of working families, and many of us need to report to work. We need to consider the impact of travel time on students and after-school activities and social opportunities. I believe the elements of the plan could include new magnet schools, new enrichment programs, and specialized instruction at specific existing schools. For example, I've been recently reading about a second performing arts school in Brooklyn, Kings County. We only have one currently in Queens. The construction of a second very much needed school based on the heavy headcount at Halsey, for example, could be strategically placed to encourage the type of new melding of students that I believe
apologize,
is
but
needed.
your time is up. I wish we had more time. I apologize. I don't want to keep interrupting, but your time is up.
No,
Thank
no
you.
worries, thank you.
Thank you. Ted Chang.
Sorry. Okay, so my question is, please describe the parent leadership or parent advocacy meetings that you attend, including a rough idea of how many times you have attended. Thank you.
Be fair, Lisa first, yes.
I want to start off by saying that I've moved to this district in literally the first day of school in 2019. I've been able to attend a few of the CEC meetings, but due to COVID and some very severe illnesses of elderly parents combined with other factors, I found myself unable to attend the meetings as regularly as I would like. In lieu of that, I've taken on an oversized role as class parent in my younger daughter's school currently. I have coordinated almost every PALP event at the class. I've done a million things. No one volunteered for the readathon. My husband recorded it using a story I selected. Now that, thank goodness and thank God, we seem to be turning the corner with COVID, I look forward to being able to have the opportunity to be more involved as I would like with these different meetings and activities.
Thank you.
Ted, please repeat the question for Simone.
Oh, okay. Please describe the parent leadership or parent advocacy meetings that you attend, including a rough idea of how many times you have attended.
So the first time I attended a CEC meeting was in February 2018. That's where I met Venus, and I want to give her credit here. I don't know if she's here, but I want to give her credit because it was her who encouraged me to become active and to attend other meetings as well. And that's what I did. So I've been showing up at CEC meetings since 2018, rather sporadically, and 2019 I picked up, and ever since then I've been pretty much attending every CEC meeting. In my role as a PTA co-president, I also attended town halls with the chancellor in person and on Zoom. I attended town halls with Senator Liu and with Senator Comrie. I'm regularly attending PTA and SLT meetings in our school. I've attended PEP meetings. I've even spoken at a PEP meeting in 2018 as a new scared parent. It was quite an experience in front of cameras.
Thank
President's
you.
Council.
Your time is up, unfortunately. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you to our timekeeper. Thank you, Cassandra. Last
You're
question.
welcome. Your time's up, DJ. No.
Last question for tonight for our candidates will be by Latifa again. And go ahead, Latifa.
Okay, and this question goes first to Simone. Give an example of time or event where consensus was required, but the viewpoint of the majority differed from your own. What steps would you personally take to help advance the discussion to a unified resolution?
I'm not going to give a specific example because it was obviously a very controversial discussion that we had, and I'm not going to share it here for confidentiality reasons. But it is always difficult to find consensus, especially because we have to listen to other opinions and we have to lean into discomfort, and that's not always easy. Sometimes we receive feedback that we don't want to hear, and it's uncomfortable. However, I have come to consensus many times with my PTA board. We had a lot of discussions internally, but we did come to a consensus because all of us felt that we need to show up as a group that stands united. And that would be my hope for this current council, that we all can come to consensus when we have divisive issues, and that we show up united, that we listen and learn from each other.
Thank you. We appreciate that feedback. Thank you so much. Time's up.
Okay, same question to Alyssa. Give an example of time or event where consensus was required, but the viewpoint of the majority differed from your own. What steps would you personally take to advance the discussion to a unified resolution?
Sorry about that. Thank you for asking that question. That's such an important question because so many times in a group setting, there isn't unanimity of thought. And going back to my professional past, I had a very interesting situation where a young female business owner with limited business experience under her belt wanted to rent a retail space from a client of mine. And there were several ownership parties. And she didn't really have a great track record. And she didn't have the same type of financial statement we would normally want to see, or they would have wanted to see. And I met with her and I spoke with her. I met with her parents. I saw how dedicated she was to our vision and that she had thought about every single issue that could possibly arise during her first 18 months of operation. And with that data, I was able to go back to the ownership, explain to them how detail-oriented, how well-researched she had pursued each point, and that what she lacked in financial assets, she made up for with essentially enthusiasm.
Time is up. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much to all of both of you for being on here. So at this time, I'll make a motion for the council to go into executive session for a few minutes, and we'll come.
Vijay, I'm
Yes.
sorry to interrupt you. What I would like to offer is make a comment to
sorry,
what was
but-
said earlier.
No, we can't. I'm sorry, Simone. You
I
did-
just want parents
Well,
to,
well,
they are
Simone,
entitled
Simone,
to
excuse
get
me.
to know me.
Simone, excuse me.
Yeah.
You had a time to make an open remark, right? So you could have used that time for that purpose if you wanted to. So we have to move forward with our agenda. I'm sorry. Okay, I apologize. Just to be fair to both candidates, we have to do what's right? To be fair to everyone. So council members, I make a motion. Can we stop spotlighting both members, please? Thank you. So I make a motion to go into executive session for a few minutes. And then we can discuss our decision as a council, discuss in closed doors, and come back to this part over here to vote for what we want to vote for. So does anyone second that?
I second.
Oh, we have a lot of seconds. We have 3 and 4s. Okay, so can you do a really quick vote for that?
Okay. First Vice President Barbara Williams.
Yes.
Second Vice President Ted Chang.
Yes.
Treasurer Lou Zhao.
Yes.
Recording Secretary Natifa Lewis. Yes. Member Nancy Lugacy.
Yes.
Member Cassandra Alexander.
Yes.
Member Shaliza Dean.
Yes.
Member Rajwinder Kaur.
Yes.
Member Elena Amanova. Member Elena Amanova. Okay. President Vijay Ramjatan.
Yes.
Well, we do have a majority, so.
Yeah. So can we just have a breakout room just to go there for really quick, and then in 5 minutes, folks, we just do 5 minutes, have a countdown on that room, please. 5-minute timer, and then we'll come back to this main room here, and then we'll do the public voting for who we put in our vacant seat. So community members, don't go anywhere, please. Only 5 minutes. Get some coffee. We'll come right back.
9:32. 9:32.
9:32, 5 minutes. We're doing timing, tonight.
Who's doing the breakout room?
Also,
It's
can I
BB would
make a
have to
motion?
make it.
Also, I would like to ask the council to have our administrative assistant and our face liaison to join us in that breakout room. Is everyone okay with that? Is anyone not okay with that? So I see thumbs up from Ted. So let's tell me if you're not okay with that. 1, 2, 3. Okay, good. So they're in. So our CC AA and BB Matadin from Face will join us also, and then we come right back.
Who's creating the breakout room?
BB has to create it. She's the host that.
They're doing it. This guys, 1 second, please. Just be patient. It's gonna happen. There you go. 5 minutes. We're having a little technical difficulty, so just bear with us. We're getting that extra room set up, so bear with us. I see Lou here and me. So Lou, we have to just wait, get to the other side.
Should I just leave completely and then I'll rejoin the meeting and I'll be in the
No,
right
you don't
room?
have to. No, please.
Okay.
Stay put.
I'm
Everyone
so
stay put.
sorry. This is such a breach of etiquette. I'm
No
so sorry
worry.
about that.
We're fine. Join. Now it's there. There it is.
Lou, I see you here with me. So maybe we have to come out of here.
We are back. Oh, I heard myself echoing. All right. All right. Thank you so much for your patience, everyone. So we're going to be moving right along. So we have some more stuff on our agenda. So we're going to be asking our recording secretary to please do a roll call for the voting.
Okay, you're going to indicate whether you're voting for Simone or Elissa when your name is called. So starting with first vice president.
1 second. We may have to make a motion to do
Oh,
the
I'm sorry.
voting.
We're making a motion to vote on the selection of one of the candidates as a member for the
Maybe
council.
give her the language. Go ahead quickly.
I second that.
Make a motion
Bring it up in
to
your math
accept a
class.
candidate to be seated on the council for the vacant seat.
Make a motion to accept a candidate to be seated
seated.
in the vacant, to be seated. Okay, the vacant. seat.
Second that.
I second that. Thank you.
Okay. First Vice President Barbara Williams.
I vote for Simone.
Second Vice President Ted Chang.
I vote for Simone.
Recording Secretary Natifa Lewis. Simone. Treasurer Lou Zhao.
Elisa.
Member Nancy Lugacy.
Simone.
Member Cassandra Alexander.
I'm here, Simone.
Member Shaliza Dean.
Simone.
Member Rajwinder Kaur.
Elisa.
Member Elena Amenova.
Elisa.
President Vijay Ramjatan.
Simone.
Okay, so we have 7 votes for Simone and 3 votes for Elissa. So the new member will be Simone Dunbar.
Okay, I want to first thank both members for candidates for being here. And I'll just give you 1 minute each to say a few words. Elissa, you're first.
I want to thank you for the opportunity to meet with you and having a chance to respond to some of your questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you for applying. Simone.
I want to thank you for your trust in me, and I will be working with you, and I will be representing all the parents and all the families of District 28. I also would like to offer for those parents who are worried about me to reach out to me directly, and I'm happy to engage in talks. It is being called a racist is something that I don't take lightly, and if this is a true sentiment, I really would like to listen what offended you and respond to it and make sure that it doesn't happen again, because I am also representing you. So thank you.
Thank you so much. So that moves on to the other part. Bibi, Simone did not, well, they didn't sign any kind of paperwork as yet, so they can't sit on no, at this point, so you no longer have the privilege to unmute at this point. Thank you both for applying to be part of the council. We are grateful for this. It's the next step. You have to take an oath to sign a paper, and then you'll be allowed for the next meeting. Bibi, go ahead.
Yeah, so first of all, congratulations, Simone, and welcome to CEC 28. I will be sending you the oath of office, and once you have that notarized, you will be able to partake in the decision-making and voting as a council member. But it's up to council to allow you to participate, meaning not voting, but being part of the discussion and listening and hearing how they arbitrate and make decisions for the remaining of the evening. That is totally up to you and the chair. But you will not be able to be part of that voting decision, as I mentioned, until you have the oath of office notarized. But congratulations again.
Thank you. I think it's okay for Simone to be like she always does, listen to what we're discussing, but then once you sign the oath, that's when will be great for you to be a part of the discussion when it comes to the council business. So we want to move right along. It's now 9:41. So not past 10 p.m. I'm promising you all. Right, let's do this, please. Okay, can we please have the minutes to be approved and move forward with that, please? Minutes for January, February minutes, and December. Can we have that on the screen, please? If any members want to be recognized to speak, please ask for permission. I'll appreciate that so we can have a very functional business meeting. Thank you. Who has the minutes? Please share it. Let's do this.
So I think Dorinda has the minutes for December and February. Am I correct, Latifa? You'll be supporting the A as a secretary? Yes.
Is she sharing it? Okay.
Yep, she should be sharing it. Why don't you start with December, Dorinda? Is that what you're doing? There you go.
There we go. So let's scroll down. So this was brought up a couple times in our meetings before to revise and to have that edited. A draft version was sent out to the council, so all of you had leisure time to reflect and to discuss and to have your ideas. None was submitted. So I make a motion to approve. To adopt.
No motion. You could say, okay, there are no corrections.
There you go.
Minutes are approved. Minutes are approved.
Yeah, any corrections, anyone? Anyone have any issues with this minutes? Going once, going twice, minutes approved. Thank you so much. Can you please share the next one? Thank you, that's so much faster. Thank you. I can't breathe this time. Weather. Thank you, baby. Okay, this is, can you scroll up please? Which month is this? February minutes. Again, everyone had a chance to review this, was sent out via emails, a draft version to review and to send comments to the AA and whatever was adjusted. Thank you for making my name spelled correctly. I appreciate that. So are there any corrections to these minutes? This was the month we had the town hall. So going once, going twice. Okay, so we'll move. Sold. Gone with the wind. Thank you. Can we get a status on January minutes, please? Latifa Lewis? Dorinda? Yes, you may.
So January minutes, there was an issue with the access to the recording as this was in the transition part. So
Yes.
that was not resolved in time for this meeting.
Would we have it for our April meeting?
Yeah.
Can we get a timeline, like maybe today's the 3rd? How about if we give a timeline by the 11th of March to have the draft version? Is that fair? That's next week.
Sure.
Friday?
Yeah, it had moved into the trash and Dorinda was able to recoup it today, but we
Beautiful.
didn't have time to fix it.
Dorinda and Latifa, is it a good time to have it by the 11th, the deadline to have these minutes in draft version to the council members?
Yes.
I'll send the recording to Latifa tonight, the trash that I recovered.
Thank you so much.
You're
Great.
welcome.
Oh, lovely. Okay, so next item on our agenda is the budget modifications. Ms. Treasurer Lou Zhao, Bibi Matadin, can you please share the screen with the so we can make live changes if needed on the budget? And Lou Zhao, do you mind going through this? And that's if you need me to help. I can also jump in and assist if you need me to, but I'll give you first stab. Go for it.
Sure. So we have this budget that this is the last time we can make any modification. So first item is the general supply. We have originally scheduled $500, and the current remaining balance is $227. And we moved some money from the member reimbursement allowance into this, so make it as balance as but basically $100, so it's $327 remaining right now. For the P card, I believe that all removed to other item. So we because we didn't have P card before, so we don't, you know, we didn't spend any money on it. So we will move to other items. And the member reimbursement is originally assigned 7,500. We make it 15,400, which is the maximum possible amount of that we can get reimbursed. So so we can free up some money for other item. And the next item is the member reimbursement for the past term. So that basically have a 171 remaining that will move to other items. And the copier list, you know, the money increased to $2,484. That's the contract amount, I believe. If BB may confirm that. And the website amount is, you know, $2,220, and that's already spent with no balance left. And the refreshment, so basically all the you know, leftover money from other accounts, you know, like reduced from the reimbursements and the will come to here. So we make it some kind of buffer for later arrangement, especially the executive breakfast. That's about all the item. Thank you. So any question or
thank you, Lou.
correction?
I have a question and comment really quickly before, but others go ahead if you have a question. And a suggestion also. Anyone else?
Do you have any money for virtual snacks?
I know, right? I agree with you. Unfortunately, they don't allow that. We actually pushed for that actually back last year to really have us get food in the evenings when we do these meetings, but it's not part of the budget. So I want to talk about the upcoming principals breakfast that we have slated for April 5th. And we have allotted over here. Can you scroll down, please, Bibi, really quickly? Right here, each member is allowed $125 per meeting per month, actually, to claim, right? And then the president is allowed $200 a month, right? And if you scroll down, you'll see Rajwinder Kaur and Lena Aminova. They only had $1,000, so that's when they came into the council. And the new member, who is now Simone Dornbach, she only will have available to her to apply for is $500, only because she's joining at this point to the remaining of the year. 125 times a month that she'll be serving, that's what the amount is, 500. So I am making a proposal that I know some council members have very clearly stated that they will not, or they don't have any interest in claiming the 125, which totals of $1,500 over the course of their term for childcare or whatever the case may be, or whatever expenses you want to do. So if you are very clear about that, because we don't use this money, we lose it, right? Can we move this money to refreshments? Can you go up to refreshments, please, Bibi? So this money will go over to the refreshments line, which right now we have 3,100. And can you scroll up a little bit? Let me see the title on top. No, up there you go. We have 3,156. So if we increase the amount of money there in our refreshments budget, then we can use some of that funds to help to take care of stuff for our breakfast that we have coming up. Yes, we are asking for donations, but we can't guarantee we'll get everything. So I would like to get others' ideas and thoughts before I start asking members about what they choose to do or not.
So Vijay, do you have a ballpark number that you want to reach?
I would say no. So I think if a member is not going to at all, if a member says, I am not going to claim anything, and it's clear, then why leave that money there when it's not going to be used, right? We can do that and have the money go to the refreshments pool and use it towards the refreshments. I'm thinking $3,000 to use for the breakfast for that we have. But just to have the funds available, we can use it for that. Also, too, if we go back in person for in-person meetings after March 16th, we may need to have refreshments at each meeting. I think it's a much safer bet to do the moving funds now than wait later on. So I've seen Latifa hand. You may be recognizing Latifa first, then Ted, then Barbara.
You spoke a little bit to what I was mentioning, that we do not know if we will need to move back into person. So I would just say, as members vote, please keep in mind that if we do revert as soon as April and you have childcare or whatever it is, that you may want to reserve your funds just in case we will be in person.
Thank you. Ted, thank you for keeping your comments short. I appreciate it. Ted, Barbara, then Lou.
No, I was just going to offer, you can feel free to use my 125 or whatever. I'm not going to claim it.
Thank you, Ted. Barbara.
Okay, so I'm claiming $75 for from the month of let me see, December, July, August, from September to February. So I have $50 left over, which amount to $300. I will give you that for the breakfast. I don't have a problem.
Thank you. Thank you. Luzao.
Okay, so first of all, I apologize that yesterday I didn't really read it clearly. So we have a few months that we can only claim up to 75. So that outright, we can move some money already, right? So $50 per person for all those months, right? So we can quickly calculate that, and that's quite
yeah.
So for 6 months, so we have $300 per person, right?
Let's do it.
Yeah, so that part we can move.
But wait, we have to wait first. We have to see first. I want to give other council members a chance to talk first, then we'll take BB's thoughts, ideas. BB, no, other members, if you want, are you finished, Lou?
Yeah, I just remember that $300 is, that's something we cannot claim. So it's nothing. Okay. And also, I'm ready to contribute some because I'm not going to claim all of them.
Okay. Other members want to say anything, add anything about the budget? Lancy, Shaliza, Elena, Rajwinder, Cassandra. Going once, going twice. Bibi Matadin.
I was just going to remind everyone that if you move back to an in-person setting and we don't have the extension, then $75 would not be applicable to Wi-Fi, because you'd be in person. So you wouldn't put in for data. So you will go right back to what Latifa said, either childcare or other expenses.
So what we could do as a compromise is we could leave some funds there, right, for each member, right? Maybe $500 or whatever it is, and put 1,000 from whatever who don't want it, and then transfer it over. Like that, we can still leave a network, like what Latifa is saying, just in case you were to have. But Ted said very clearly he's not going to use it. Thank you, Ted. That's very clear. So we can move his entire 1,500 over. You see what I'm saying? So that's great to have that rate too. I want to ask other members, is there any members here who will not be claiming anything at all? Going once. So which means all other members will be claiming something. Okay, so Bibi, can you share the screen again, please, with the budget?
Lou's hand is up.
Yeah.
Oh, that's from before. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just quick question for Bibi. So when we go back to person, right? We cannot claim any money, roll over from the remote time, right? So for example, last month we have $75. It doesn't mean this month we go to in person we can get 125 plus the $50. Is that so? So every month we can claim up to this amount, 75. That's a 75, right? So basically for For
So every month you get up to $75 for Wi-Fi. So your money is there because you're allocated so much. So the next month, let's say, for example, if you have babysitting and it's 150, even though you are allocated for that month 125, you have money from the previous month that you can actually roll over because the money is allocated to each member of 1,500 and the president gets 24.
So
Again, but again, you have to use it within the fiscal year. It doesn't roll over to another fiscal year. It's exhausted. It's depleted.
Can I add this also really quickly? But if we go back in person, that $75 doesn't apply anymore.
Correct, because you're not on virtual meeting. So
The only thing you
Wi-Fi
can apply for is like travel expenses, MetroCard, childcare, those kinds of things. You can't use it for $75 or that. But again, that's up in the air. We don't know, right? So, yeah.
Okay, so I will share the screen again.
Thank you. All right. Thank you so much. So, okay, so let's make an immediate change, right? Can we put 0 for Ted Chang's line and then add 1,500 to, can you make it, yes, make it a little smaller, maybe your screen? So that way the whole thing, like maybe we make it 120 Zoom wise.
Yep, I need to type in, so I have to see.
Oh,
So
okay,
I want to make sure that you all are seeing what we're doing.
Yeah.
So we're going to add the 1,500 here. So we'll add
Yes.
1,500. Actually, we're subtracting 1,500 here.
Correct.
And we're
adding
going
to
to add
refreshments.
refreshments, 1,500.
Right.
And this is coming out from
Ted.
Okay.
Anyone else here is not going to use the entire 1,500?
I think I can contribute some. So the $75 is for Wi-Fi only, right?
Yeah, so up to $75 you get for your Wi-Fi every month.
Okay.
If you're
Okay.
using it for Wi-Fi.
Okay. So I don't think I can claim anything for the first 2 months at least. So that's $250.
So this is 0. You're giving 0 here, 0 here.
Yeah. I
And
mean
what-
the first one, so the July. Yeah, so that's $250 already. Let me think about
So the other council members, the idea is if we don't allocate this money elsewhere, we just lose it, right? Because then we can modify the budget again. So now is the time to really say, well, I will not apply for these things, and then let's use them our budget wisely. I'll ask you to think about that very carefully as we make the change now. Okay, so I just want to move things along. So Lou, 250?
Yes.
Thank you. So let's do 250 from Lou, please. Okay. Perfect. Okay, any other members? Going once, going twice.
I think Barbara gave up some earlier.
Yeah, but I'm asking again, so I want to make sure. Barbara?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know you needed me to say yes again. Yeah, I'm giving $300.
300, thank you, Barbara. Okay. Okay, so anyone else going once? Going twice?
Thank you.
Great, so then maybe let's modify that, please, really quickly.
Okay.
Just confirming, Nancy, can you scroll back up, scroll back down, please? Nancy, Rajwinder, Latifa, and Shaliza, you plan to apply for the whole 1,500? Because I don't think that's allowed anymore at this point. I'm not sure if you could get the full 1,500 at this point, if you could backdate stuff to that point, knowing that we are where we are now. Nancy, Latifa, Cassandra, Shaliza?
I'm not sure about, because if you go in person, I might use that. But if you guys can take away the $75, I never used it. for the internet.
The 75?
For November, December, I never used it.
You don't, so you're not claiming it?
No, I'm not claiming it.
Okay, so that's 75 down, one,
That's
two.
125. So it's 125 for 4 months that you are not gonna claim? Right?
Yes.
You're not putting in,
I'm not,
you're not
yes.
putting in expenses?
No.
Okay. Okay, BJ, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 500,000.
500 there.
It's Cassandra. Hi. Oh,
yes.
sorry.
Go ahead.
Is my name.
Go ahead.
I'm new at this, totally new. And
Yeah.
I don't want to hold on to the funds if I'm not going to use them. But I don't want to give it all away if I would need some of it. So I'm new. So I'm not sure how to break it down because, you know, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I'm new.
I get what you're saying. So I feel it's safe enough to say if you were to leave $1,000 in there to cover, if you were to think about adding back something, would be a fair way to do that. To leave $1,000 in your chase in your account to apply for what's remaining for the rest of the year. Would that be fair for you?
Absolutely.
But no, listen. But I don't want to see. I don't want to see like I'm pushing anyone any which way. I just don't want to see us lose the money. Is what I'm trying to say. You know, like
absolutely. I don't want you guys to lose it either, and that's why I needed clarification because you know I needed clarity. I don't want to hold on to it like I'm going to use it if I don't use it.
Right.
Yeah, I could leave 1,000 in, and the 400. I mean, the difference would be fine to transfer over.
Okay.
Okay. I want to say, so just to clarify, we are only allowed to request reimbursement for $75 a month while we are virtual. Correct?
And if you could justify childcare arrangements.
And I can or you cannot?
If you can, if you are able to justify childcare arrangements, then you can definitely claim the whole 125 for the remaining of the months.
Okay.
But once you got the person, if we do, you can claim $75 for to be in person.
Okay. So I want to claim. I want to give back. Can we go back to our table, our chart, please?
Sure.
So, September, October, November, December, and January. I want to give 50 back per month.
Okay. So that's September, October, November, December. That is
January.
January is 5 months.
Oh, and February gone to and February.
And February, so 6 months of $50.
6 months, 50.
Give us back to us, okay? Okay, great. All right, so maybe let's move forward now with this, modifying it, and let's just move forward to the next step. In terms of adding the amounts, and then we can do a quick vote on this, and then we can adopt the new budget this year.
All right, Lou, what do we have there? 3156 plus the rest of it?
So 2, 300, 600, and 2, 500.
1350 plus
350, yeah.
So what's 2850?
Wait, for the,
I think this is 2850. Can you confirm that's 2850 off the top of my head plus 3156? What would that be?
so I can see that it's a 2, 300, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And 2, 500.
Yes.
2850, is this 2850?
Yes, that's 2050 plus the
Yep. So 2850
3156.
plus the 3156. How much is that?
$6,006.
Okay. How much?
$6,006. Lou, did you get that?
Wait a second. So 83.
So Lou, if it's
350.
so hold on. So I make it
So
easy
this is
for you, Lou.
350, right? It's a
Yeah, so Lou,
350.
if we're taking away 2850 and we're adding 2850, we just have to mirror the same. So just take away 2850 from this amount that you see here, 15,400, and then you add it to the 3517 and tell me what you have, and then we modify.
Yes.
Okay.
Wait. I'm a little confused. So we're talking about this is what you get from the adjustment. I got 3,350.
No,
Okay.
look at the modify amount, and you see it's 15,400 currently you all have there. So
Right.
if you're removing 2850 from this amount, you need to add the 2850 to the refreshment, which is currently 3517.
So that will be 15,400 minus the 20.
There's two 300. So it's a three. I got 3,350. Where are you?
No, that's 2850 is the total amount. From L to Q, if you look at
We have to add
Q.
this.
Yeah.
From L to Q, the total there is 2850. Is that correct?
I
this
did
is
it in my head, but I think it's correct.
250. No. See, this is 1,000. This is 200, 500 already. Then it's 300. So this is already 300, 3,100. Right. So this is
Let's check it again.
3,350.
Hold on, let me check it again. Hold on. So it's 15. So we no rush. 1,500 plus 250 plus 1,000 plus 600. Yes, you're right.
How much
3,350.
is it?
3,350.
3,350. He's correct.
1,025.
3,350.
3,350?
Yes.
Yep.
3,350. So we have to subtract 3,350, Lou, from this blue account, from the blue
Right.
number.
15,400 minus 3,350.
Yep.
1250. Lou, you
1205.
Yes.
1205?
there. Mhm.
12,005 bucks?
050.
Remove 10. There you go.
Yep.
Perfect.
And what's our number up here?
That's 31.
So we have to add to the refreshment, right?
Correct.
Exactly the same amount.
So this is a 3,517, right? Is that what 3,5? Okay. So
It has to come out.
3,517 plus 3,350.
Mhm.
I have 6,867. Lou, what did you get?
Yeah, 6,867, right?
Perfect. Yes.
Perfect, 25 grand.
There you go. Okay. So I make a motion to adopt this budget.
I make a motion to adopt the modified budget.
I make a motion. Lou, you want to make the motion? You're the
Yes,
treasurer.
I'm sorry, I
Latifa
had
hand is
one
up.
hand
make
up.
the
Latifa
motion.
hand is up. Sorry, Latifa hand is up.
Yeah, so one of the reasons, so I just wanted one clarification from BB before I had gone it. The 125 that you can normally use for childcare, are you saying that out of the 1,500, are you allowed to go over that like a month if you're under another month?
If you can justify for babysitting, but
So
remember you can't go
I
over
was
for
in
Wi-Fi.
person. I was in person on September. When just myself and Sheila, the month that everyone else was home.
Yeah.
And for August and September, for those 2 months, I wanted to also include, it ended up, I had the extra charge with documentation for the hotspot. So I wanted to know if that went over the 125, could it be put in for there? And then I give back the rest.
You're saying that you want to put 125 for babysitting and 75 here for Wi-Fi?
I'm sorry?
And I'm not sure I understand the question.
I'm saying that I wanted to use, okay, so I wanted to use my allocation for August and September when I was in person, but I wanted to know if the allocation was allowed to go over 25, because that was when I used the Wi-Fi bill that went up a little bit extra there.
So what is it that you're claiming for July?
The hotspot,
Babysitting or Wi-Fi?
data, the hotspot data service.
Which would be over 75?
Yeah, it's 100.
You're allowed up to 75 for Wi-Fi.
No, but I'm saying the Wi-Fi would be if I'm connecting from home. This was the physical hotspot that I had in there. That
Yeah, it was in person. For the in
But
person.
in person, when you're in person, you don't get the Wi-Fi.
But that wasn't for herself. It was for the meeting because
For everyone to connect.
Yeah.
Remember, everyone was connecting off of my hotspot.
Okay, so the council can vote to allocate money separately for tech support here, and then you will get, that will be separate. That will be a separate reimbursement for you, that for additional
Right.
expense incurred on behalf of the council. It won't be your reimbursement. This is a council expense.
Oh,
that
well,
they
yeah,
need to
that was my
reimburse you
question.
for.
Okay, in that case, then I do want the I'm claiming my reimbursement for July, August, and September. And then I'm giving back $75 from October to now.
So VJ, we got to do that over.
Sorry.
That's all right.
So October, November, December, January, February, right?
Yes.
And now March, or
Yeah.
no?
Yeah.
In March. So these are all 75.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's, so Lou, treasurer, that's $50 every month.
That's
One,
300.
1, 2, 3,
Right.
$300. But we got to do it over. Natifa is giving $300 back.
Okay, so Nativa, other than the hotspot, what else? You have. I remember you bring some like other.
Yes.
Like speaker or whatever.
No, that wasn't utilized. This wasn't like purchased or anything. It was, and VJ ended up using his, not mine.
Question, can we leave this 300 in a separate line for council? The same 300 that Nativa will claim for her expenditure for the hotspot. So let's create a new line.
Right.
Lou, are you okay with that?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. We
Let's
need a
leave
new line for that.
Yeah, put a new line and leave the sum what we have right now. But we still have to adjust certain things, certain places, but that's okay.
Okay, so. Right?
Yes, tech
I
support.
don't know what that's gonna be. I don't know what that's gonna be because I have to work with the SGO for that. So
Well, we can
here,
justify it. We can justify. We know that she did that.
no,
so-
I mean, that's not for the council. That's logistical from behind the scenes. So we're putting what
Okay.
here? $300, yeah?
300. Nativa, that covers it for 2 months?
But yeah, that's more than it's less than 300. It's like
Yeah, it's gonna, you're
yeah.
gonna have leftover. But maybe some other time when you're in person, you might want to do hybrid and you have to bring the hotspot again and get charged.
Right, so let's leave the 300
So
in
leave-
there.
Yeah. All right, so you got to remove the 300. Okay.
From-
Lou.
From the
From
member
the
line.
reimbursement, because I put it over here that you're taking out the 300 and you're adding it here.
No, you, okay, yeah, you added.
Okay,
Mhm.
so let's do it one more time. I just want to make sure, and patience for everybody else on the platform. This is the first time the treasurer is doing the mod and he's doing a phenomenal job. So
He's
thank
doing
you.
an excellent job.
Yep. So Lou, just, it's a learning, teaching moment.
Yep.
You, under 1250, we're gonna have to take away the 3. So tell me what you have, Lou. Notice I'm doing this on purpose to you, sorry.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I mean, I'll also modify my to 300 just to make it simple. Like my 250 make it 300, so it's make it simple.
That's not making it simple, but okay, whatever.
Okay.
What? Tell me.
I hate the $50 like leftover.
Okay, thank you.
Oh,
Let's
sticking out
make it 300. Let's go. Come on, let's do it. Come on.
Yeah.
So he's
Tell me,
making
tell
his
me.
250 to 300. That's it. So and hit,
Change the 250 to 300.
yeah, make one of the 250s in the right. Make it 300 here. And exactly
And
bottom to 300.
now that will be 11 7.
No, now this would have been 12, and we need to subtract, so it'll be 11.7, right? And now we
11.7,
need to
yep.
add that $50 over here, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Plus, yeah, so what is
But
that?
maybe just make a note of line cell M12 to make sure you match that 250 to add.
Yeah, so
I did already.
M12.
I
The
did.
250,
M12.
250.
No, M12, you gotta change M12 cell
Yeah,
M
change 250 to 300.
to 300.
Yeah,
There
yeah,
it is,
make
right
it
here.
to 250.
Oh, yeah.
There you
I
go.
did it in a big bucket. This is just my notes. This is not going anywhere.
Yes.
So let's focus on the blue. Focus on the blue. 11.7 is good. So Lou, 300 is good.
Yeah, so
Okay.
that would be 6917.
6917 with the $50, yeah?
Yep.
Right.
All right, 25. Yes, Lou.
You're 25.
Lou, you're gonna be doing mod for every council that I go to present.
Okay, let's make a motion to approve and let's move, folks. Come on, we go.
So Vijay, you think that money is sufficient?
More than enough.
Okay, good.
I make a motion to approve.
I second that.
Make a motion to accept the modified budget, please.
Yes.
Okay, I make a motion to accept the modified budget.
Yeah, I second that.
I third that. Let's vote. Go ahead, Antifa.
Actually, I think Lou should have made the motion. He's the
Okay,
treasurer.
all right. I make the motion to accept the modified budget.
I second that.
We have to do it the right way.
And we are learning.
Beautiful. Let's go ahead and call the roll call, Latifa.
Okay, first Vice President Barbara Williams.
Yes.
Second Vice President Ted Chang.
Yes, hallelujah, yes.
Recording Secretary Natifa Lewis. Yes. Treasurer Luzal.
Yes.
Member Nancy Lugacy.
Yes.
Member Member Cassandra Alexander.
Yes.
Member Shaliza Dean.
Yes.
Member Rajwinder Kaur.
Yes.
Member Elena Amanova. Member Elena Amanova. President Vijay Ramjatan.
Yes.
Okay, so it is passed with, is Elena unable
No,
to
she's in work and doing
Okay.
things at the same time. So we could, it's up. So I can test.
Budget accepted. Modified budget accepted.
Thank you, Barbara.
Very
You're
good.
welcome.
Very nice. Okay, moving along. So we've done 1, 2, 3. Last thing is gun violence. So I want to propose to the council that we make the town halls more of at the meetings and not do a town hall again. I think it's taking a lot of time for council members to really put a lot of effort into this, and really also too, I understand school, work, commitments, all of that stuff. So I want to be cognizant of this. So Rajwinder, who is going to be talking about a gun violence town hall. Rajwinder, you have the option of also doing this as a slide presentation at our meeting, and let's present that as your report. What are your thoughts?
You guys suggest me. It's my first time to do, and my concern is, you know what? Is it going to be virtual or what? Because whosoever I have to invite, they are asking me that. Is it
We
going to
don't
be virtual
know.
or personal? So what should I tell them? That they have to plan accordingly.
How about we hold off for now until we get clear next guidance, and then we could just think about it after. Is that fair with you?
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
Do all this work and then we don't
whosoever
know.
I have to invite, whosoever to speak there, they're asking what time, where, and when.
Okay.
You know? So they have.
So let's wait till the new guidance and then we'll talk about it again. Is that okay? Great. And for all the other members who I spoke to before about your town halls, you could definitely, let's discuss again about if you want to just do a presentation on the platform of the calendar meeting and not an actual separate town hall. But if you so wish to do a town hall, let me just work together and we can make that happen. DB, your hand is raised, you're recognized.
Actually, I wanted to close the loop on the modified budget and ask the administrative assistant, because I sent a motion record for her earlier, and I want to ensure that she has the documentation completely filled out, because tonight will be the last to modified budget. We need to get it to the SGO in the morning. I said that in one breath because it's important to give you back your time. Dorinda?
Thank you.
I'm sorry, baby. You lost me for a second. So sorry.
I sent you the motion form for the modification. I just want to make sure that you have it. That Lou made the motion, the budget is accepted with 9 yes votes. because that form will be needed for tomorrow morning. Yes?
I do have it, yes.
Okay, very good.
Awesome. Okay, so we are done. It's now 10:21. Last thing, folks, we are having our principal breakfast happening on April 5th from 9 to 11 a.m. at Liberty Palace. This address is going to be, Ted, I see your hand raised. 1 second, please. We are going to have this on a Tuesday morning from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. We're inviting all the principals and parent coordinators of each school in the district. We're inviting the district office, the correction officer, the correction officer, the community officer for each precinct. We're inviting some FACE members and some members from the district office. So we are catering, we're aiming to have 100 people on that morning for the breakfast. It will be amazing team effort for all the council members to really be present. So we're giving you a whole month, almost a month notice to really be prepared to be there that day. If you can't make it, we understand, but I would love to give each of you a task to announce something, to say something, to call on someone. But it will be really nice to have a little table and be in person and really, just be there as we host this first inaugural breakfast. It's going to be amazing. And also all the elected officials.
Can I speak, BJ?
Yes. Well,
I can't find my raise hand button right now.
Ted had us up first, then you will go after Ted.
No problem. Thank you.
I was going to speak on a different topic, so you could have Shaliza speak on this if you want.
Shaliza, go ahead.
I wanted to bring to you guys knowledge that it is Ramadan begins on April 2nd. So if any of those principals or any of the invited guests are Muslim, they will not be partaking in your breakfast.
But they can be present, right? They may not eat, but
yeah, they can come, but you come watch everybody else eat. I
think you're making an emotional statement. I mean, thank you.
No. People, if you attend, there's going to be a person who's fasting will not be eating. That's all.
I think we did the best we can, right? I think we can apologize. We can send them a breakfast after Ramadan. I mean, we scroll through the calendar a lot of times, always to find a date, and we apologize if that was not taken into consideration.
Okay.
I apologize, but we could definitely figure out something. How we can.
I'm just saying. I understand we're aiming for diversity and inclusion. I put it out there. Thank you.
Totally, Shaliza. Thank you. Barbara, your hands was up.
I have one question. Did we mention that we was going to invite President's Council to that breakfast?
Yes,
don't
most
remember.
definitely.
I'm just asking.
The elected members, right?
Okay, so just here, because I'm not, I'm not sure.
Yeah. We have a list of people. We have a list of people that we have down. It's going to be like the leadership of the district, the entire leadership. So like CCHS president, or like that kind of stuff. Like those members. Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to put it out there, so because we didn't mention it, so that's why I just want to put it out there. Thank you.
Latifa, Ted, go first, and then Latifa. Latifa, is your stuff about breakfast? Go ahead.
So that was part of the oversight when with my looking. So I wanted to know, since we had just finalized it, is there any possible way to double check if it could be said the Thursday before, which I believe is March 31st, if the place would be available and willing to do that, instead of having it on the Tuesday the 5th, Thursday the 1st, because that would be right before Ramadan starts. Because other than that, you go forward quite a lot along.
Let's see, April. I'm looking at the date. So April, that'll be April 5th. So you're saying March 31st?
Yeah, one of the reasons we didn't want to do it within that week was because of the state testing. But I think that's like the end of it. So if March 31st is an option, at least to consider. So to Shaliza's point about inclusion, because unless you wanted to do a Friday. So either the 31st of March or the 1st of April. I mean, if the venue is available, to at least pursue it since we have not distributed any material
Right.
with the date. I think it's worth just asking.
Yeah, I agree. I think so. What we could do is I'll reach out. The idea is I reach out to the hall, to this banquet hall, and they were gracious enough to give it to us for free, which is you don't get free things too often, right? So, which is like a big ask, and they said yes. I'm like, wow, thank you. So I will definitely reach back out to them and ask them if we could do the first. A lot of times these halls have events on the weekend, and they are prepared and think stuff on the weekends, or Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So I'm not sure. I can propose both dates. Shaliza, does the 31st or the 1st provide put any conflicts there?
Not to my knowledge, but I know like for Passover and all of that is a little further on depending on people's faith. But I think Islamically, no.
Okay, so I want to ask all members who are here now, because we need to like really decide this, right? 31st or the 1st, is this any conflict with any holidays, any events, any observances that you know of in terms of school holidays also? Anything that you could think about right now, please? 31st or 1st?
March 31st is the last day for the state test of ELAs, if that has some concern with
I don't think we should have it on the 31st if that's the case.
The 1st is the day right after. It's a Friday. The only reason I had mentioned the 31st is, as you mentioned, getting closer to the weekend becomes the dates. But since it's in the morning on a Friday, it is possible, like if it had been an evening, that it would be an issue. So if we can ask for the 1st.
I'll see.
Yeah.
So that if we cannot do the 1st, then we'll stay with the 5th. Okay, so we'll try. Is that okay? Shaliza Dean, is that okay?
The 1st, you would have to stick with your original plan because it defeats the whole purpose. So
And
even
Shaliza, it
though
wasn't
I
intentional, okay?
understand where Shaliza's coming from, but if you can't get the 1st, might as well stick to the 5th.
Shaliza Dean, thank you.
Yeah,
Barbara.
either if
Yeah,
you attempt and it cannot be done, then the 5th it is.
And please note, it wasn't intentional. It was not.
No. I know. Trust me, I go through this with so many schools throughout the years. I have been change maker from many schools for many things, as
Right.
many of you are.
Thank you. All right, so that's that. Okay, thank you so much for understanding. Ted Chang.
So just on a completely separate issue, I just wanted to ask my fellow council members. I saw some resolutions going around about school governance, and I saw that they're like one of the things they're asking for is to get more parent members on the PEP, the actual school board for New York City. And I just kind of wanted to kind of feel the temperature and just see what people think about things like that. Is that something that we're interested in? I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yes.
And just so you know, like before there were no parent members that were sort of officially on the panel for educational policy. And then like a couple years ago, parents got one official member, which is selected by the CC presidents. I think VJ, you participated in that. And so now now parents have one member on the panel, but they're talking about getting more members.
No, I think let's definitely send an email out to the group to get a test of people's ideas about that. Let's send an email out tomorrow, Ted, to get members' ideas. And are you thinking resolution-wise in terms of like a resolution?
Yeah, maybe we could throw together some ideas for a resolution or something. Yeah,
I think it's a great idea. But let's just throw an email out tomorrow to the members and get people's ideas, and we can just take it from there. Is that fair? Thank you. Any new business? Anyone?
Can I ask, whatever happened to us having a resolution committee of some sort?
We have a resolution committee. Who's chair?
We have one?
Dorinda?
We got busy.
Yes,
We do have a resolution committee. We have Dorinda, do you mind tomorrow sending back out an email again with all the committees? and the members of each committee, the chairs of each committee. So for those who have questions about committees and the resolution, whatever it is, we can direct these questions to the committee's chairs and say, hey, why wasn't this being taken care of? Here it is. Okay, the bylaws committee, we have the.
There's no resolution coming.
Here,
We
listed.
never started it.
We never
I
started.
think we
that.
talked,
So-
we talked about
We
it.
talked about it, but we never voted on it.
That's what I thought too.
Barbara, can you stop sharing, maybe? Can you put for new business next month, Dorinda? Can you put resolution committee on the agenda for business meeting next month for new business? And we could, members, start thinking if you want to be part of that committee and what it will look like. And now also, last but not least, any old business that we missed? Old business, I think, would be January's minutes. New business will be the that's just that last thing I said in the resolution committee. And the time now is 10:32 p.m. This meeting
Good
is
night.
adjourned. No, maybe wait. Maybe has some.
Good night, everyone.
You
Wait,
have
wait,
to
wait.
go back and look at all your absences that you have not voted on.
Oh,
Okay, so that's next business, old business, absences to vote on. For next month.
Yeah, I think
An
Latifa, you
excuse.
did some of them,
We did
right?
some of them.
Previously.
Yes.
So now you gotta
Thank you.
go and do the other months. I believe
Okay.
December was left and January, right? We can circle back. and list
Yeah, we don't
them,
have that. We don't have that many
But I
anymore.
don't think, yeah.
Yeah, it's not much. So
Just double
because,
check.
yeah.
For
Dorinda?
absences, I think only what it would
Nancy,
be,
I
last
think Nancy
month.
was out for 1 month.
Yeah.
So
ju-
that's a
just
town
last
hall.
month,
That's a town
all.
hall. That's it.
It was,
Let's
yeah.
discuss this right now. Let's just discuss this right now. Please,
Okay.
let's do the homework
We can put that in
background.
old business and circle back.
That's it. Barbara?
Yes, is anyone reaching out to Dr. Pate to find out about the student seat that we have available? Is anyone working with Dr. Pate on that?
I thought you were.
Really?
Yeah, we had agreed. We had agreed that you would.
Oh, well, maybe that's why I asked the question. I didn't remember. Okay, I will take care of it. Don't worry.
Thank you.
My
Okay,
apologies.
everyone.
I'll take care of it.
Thank you.
put
It's
my-
now 10:34 p.m. Have a good night. This meeting is adjourned. And
Good
during
night, everyone.
close off the meeting, please, at this time.
Congratulations, Simone, and welcome.
Welcome, Simone.
All right.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, everyone.
You can close the
Good
meeting now,
night.
Dorinda. Thank you.